The views, information, or opinions expressed during the Geeks Under the Influence podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of RVA Magazine, Loot Crate, amzn.to, or their employees. Listener discretion is advised. Fuck off if you don't like it.
What I'm excited about talking about the actual figurehead movies of the Universal monsters, but I'm almost more excited to talk about all the really shitty sequels that they had.
Oh, dear
They did
God.
Daughter of Dracula and Son of Dracula. And Son of Dracula was 15 years later, and fuck it, I don't care. Whatever. Son, sure. He has a son. Yeah. Because apparently one time when he prematurely ejaculated, it was into one of the brides of Dracula. So
And then you've got Son of Frankenstein.
Yep.
And that's what I was going to say. The Bride of Frankenstein has always irritated me because I was never a fan of Bride of Frankenstein.
Because you're a Phillies fan.
I'm not sure how that feeds into it.
It feeds into everything.
Yeah, everything.
It's a sign of a pattern.
Well, Kevin figured it out.
A sign of a
off-
mal pattern, actually.
No, I want to hear, hear this horse
The name in itself is ridiculous because instead of saying it's the Bride of Frankenstein's monster, they say it's just the Bride of Frankenstein. It makes no sense.
Go ahead.
First off, shut up.
God, that one hit deep.
I know, right? But if you really want to talk about shitty, it's what we were talking about outside for a minute was the Abbott and Costello ones, to
Right.
where they're good movies, but it really did ruin the image of the Universal monsters.
Made him hokey.
Yeah.
All right. That has to be the dumbest explanation for not liking the movie because of the title. Because, okay, it's The Bride of Frankenstein, not The Bride of Frankenstein's Monster. The first one wasn't called Frankenstein's Monster. It was called Frankenstein. Go fuck yourself.
Well, and also, to be fair, the Bride of Frankenstein was literally the bride of Dr. Frankenstein that
Right.
ended up dying and then getting turned into a monster. And then
For Frankenstein's monster.
in the story, that's what it was, wasn't it?
No,
No.
for Frankenstein's monster.
In the movie, the basis was actually the shepherd girl that they used
Right.
for the body. He escapes at the end with his wife.
Yes.
No, in the original Mary Shelley, I think.
Okay, hang on. It's been a while since I've read Frankenstein because it was high school was the last time I read it. But wrote an entire report on how I thought Mary Shelley was full of shit by being afraid of people playing God. That was my senior paper. It was basically Mary Shelley's a bitch.
Well, just like any surgeon nowadays, a lot of them had that mentality because that's where they were revered as,
I've seen Dr. Giggles.
R.I.P. Man, he passed away.
Well,
Yeah,
tell you what,
that's true.
let's do the introduction, and then we'll get right to you on Mary Shelley after the introduction. So,
Chapter 1, Mary Shelley's a bitch.
yeah,
Go.
that's scene 1, act 1. Tonight we are talking all things Universal monsters on this episode of Geeks Under the Influence, episode 121. This is going to be the beginning of our October, which, as always, is going to be all horror-centric episodes of Geeks Under the Influence. And there's no better way to open up a swath of horror episodes than with the monster movies that created a monster universe. The first movies that really had they created the mega sequels like Avengers have done or Alien vs. Predator all comes from Frankenstein, Dracula, Invisible Man, Mummy, and The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Those are the big 5. And we're going to be talking about them, all the sequels, all the stuff that's been influenced by these movies on this episode of Geeks Under the Influence. Welcome.
Geeks Under the Influence.
Fire bad.
Fire bad. Drink good.
Smoke.
Good. Good.
Listen to them. Children of the night. They all sound like idiots.
Or as Frankenstein's monster says in Monster Squad, scary.
Monster Scott.
Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you trying to say, asshole?
Speaking of Monster Scott, let's get into the panel here.
God damn it! One more name.
Yes.
One more name.
Monster Scott.
We got a 6-pack on this episode of Geeks Under the Influence, so it's going to be a wild ride for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So first off to the left of me is Monster Scott sitting here in. We were talking earlier about just having time to rewatch some of these movies. We've all seen them time and time again,
Yes.
but some of them, it's been years since I've had a chance to actually sit down and watch them.
Absolutely. Well, and that's where we talk about my eldest, the Logan, the Weapon X.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all know how crazy that is. But he did sit down and watch Frankenstein with me. Loved it.
Good.
So that was a nice catch up, and yeah, we were definitely trying to do that all week.
Did he go, his head is as big as mine? No? Okay.
But the funny thing is that, like I was saying outside the show, the generational gap, though, like I was explaining, the windmill, when it's on fire at the end, he kept on saying boom, like he expected it to explode, like most modern movies.
That's your fault for letting him watch Michael Bay movies.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I am not home when he's with his mother during the day.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, push it on Jen. Well done. Love you.
Oh, and I will plug, getting a little bit closer, speaking of my son and stuff, keep an eye out. I'm trying to finalize a few things. Geek Father.
The Geek Fathers.
The Geek Fathers. It's coming soon, I promise. There's been a delay, but it will be soon.
That's one of the many podcasts that are going to be starting on the GUI
Yes,
network,
yes.
hopefully either by the end of the year or early 2018.
Actually, I would like to give a shout out to any of our friends and local bands. I am still looking for some music to use as well.
Nice.
So to keep
Okay.
to put that out there, anybody who needs some tunes, and we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Speaking of musicians, local musicians, next one up is a second timer on Geeks Under the Influence. You may have heard him on our Archer podcast. Will Macabre is here, MC for the Creatures Grim Motorcycle Club in town.
President
Yes.
President of the Creatures Grim.
Yes.
Motorcycle
I'm sorry,
Club. There you go.
President. Yeah.
There's what you're.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah. The club alone. What's the logo for Creatures Grim?
It's the creature from the Black Lagoon riding on a motorcycle with a Little Red Riding Hood sort of looking girl on the back. Obviously, she's wearing green because that's the club color.
Yeah.
And they're carrying the Wolfman's severed head.
I fucking love that.
What, you haven't?
You didn't look at the back of the.
No, we were in the dark. We were out. I didn't.
There.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the patch.
I want the patch. I don't. Not the jacket specifically, but I'll definitely wear the patch.
So you know nothing about monster movies, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No interest whatsoever.
Rookie.
No.
Rookie.
No tattoo.
not really.
No,
No.
nothing. Yeah. I will say we're going to get some more information before we start doing proper plugs and everything. But you guys do a Toys for Tots run every year, and we plugged you guys last year. We're going to do the same this time as well. Give kind of like dates and times for everything.
We'll go over that later, but December 2nd this year is going to be our Toys for Tots run.
I was going to say a great group of guys, but that's not true. But like, actually,
You know what? We like to give back to charity groups, children, veterans, dogs, because we probably should make up for the rest of our short.
that's true. Yeah, no, that's true.
Well, and you do have Kron.
Yeah, that
I was
alone.
gonna say, but you guys have one or two very nice people in your motorcycle club.
No, they don't.
What are you talking about?
They have like friends maybe that know them that are nice.
Friends of friends who are pretty nice people.
They met a guy once that was nice. That's,
Right.
next one up is a first timer on Geeks Under the Influence, but avid listener of the
Yes,
show,
absolutely.
and an old
Hello.
friend that we finally got on. You're constantly traveling around for your job,
Yes.
and finally we got to nail down an episode you wanted to be on that we were able to get you in town. Well, we didn't get you in town for this. You have something a little bit more important happening this week.
I do?
Yeah,
I don't
Kevin is
know.
here to talk all things beer and horror. Mr. Kevin will be getting married this weekend in a pirate-themed wedding that we're all very excited about.
That's awesome.
Yes. I'm so excited to break my fake sword fighting drunkenly.
Oh,
in
we
field.
have a basket full of light-up sound-making fake stores with which you can replace it.
Yes.
I'm very excited to be here. I've known several of the people on here for a very long time.
Yeah.
And Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, man. I'm excited to have you on finally. We've been talking about getting you on here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one up is one that I've been trying to kick off this podcast for years.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah. He just keeps showing up. It's unfortunate.
Sleep out on your back porch until you let me in.
He was recently doing some FEMA cleanup in Florida, trying to make up for the fact that nobody likes him by trying to do nice stuff in the community.
I knew there was a reason I cut your brake lines before I walked into your house.
That's probably smart. Our local hero, the man with the FEMA, Mr. Kyle Smash is here.
Hello, everybody.
Now-
No.
That's just for the cleanup. That's all you get. That's all you get.
No,
I like that-
I'm happy to be back. It's actually I have to fly out again tomorrow morning at 6 to go back to it. Puerto Rico's fucked.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Puerto Rico specifically, but to get food to there. But I'm not. There's the shit fucking ton more people out there doing more than I do.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, but I'm definitely happy to be back. I was itching to be back on a fucking podcast.
Oh, no
I've been
shit.
missing you guys.
Well, you get the itch, almost like the tattoo addiction. Where you're just like, I need
yeah.
it, man.
I'm not I'm not into the heroin, but I can almost understand what it's like to get that. You know what I mean? Just
right.
slapping the arm, like, God damn it!
Couple
I need
weeks,
that
like,
fix.
oh man, I need it.
I
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
especially this because very few times do I get to talk about the Monster Squad.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, I figured.
I got to wear the shirt that been waiting for a long time to wear since we went. And was it May?
March.
Yeah, since fucking March, I've been waiting to wear this shirt
Oh Jesus.
I mean, you
on
shouldn't
this
have to
podcast.
wear-
This podcast to where it made sense.
yeah.
And Wolfman's got nards.
Wolfman does have nards.
Oh,
It's
sure he
been
does.
it's a
They some
scientific fact.
Yeah, there's some
Warm,
big ones too.
fuzzy nards.
Yep.
They sold them in a box. Remember?
Yeah.
At the HorrorCon, they actually
did?
sold Wolfman's nards in a box
What the
as a
fuck?
toy for when
That
it
is
came out for
amazing.
kids. It was so fucking disturbing.
Speaking of giant fuzzy nards, the next panelist,
Giant mulatto nards.
giant mulatto nards. The man with the plan, the sexual chocolate, the roid rage himself, Mr. Lowdown Brown MacGyver is here.
What's up, guys?
Wearing a fantastic, it's a Ramones Universal Monsters mashup t-shirt. You got that at one of the cons we went to, right?
Wrong. This is actually from a local company, Gift Shop of Horrors.
Yep,
Okay.
that's right.
That's right.
It's fun. It's started by a couple of friends of ours. They have a slew of awesome horror mashup shirts. A lot of punk, a lot of metal, horror mashup shirts going on. Check them out.
Yeah, we need to actually add them to our links page
Yeah.
as well, because they're buddies of ours. They've both been on episodes at this point, so...
Derek's first episode will be in November. He hasn't been on one yet.
he was on VHS Massacre.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm not counting. I just
Because that
don't
was a
count
live
as an
show.
episode. It's a live
Yeah.
show. But yeah, that's true. He was on that.
Yeah.
yes.
So technically...
Technically.
An actual episode where you guys were coherent.
Yeah, no shit. That sounded like a train wreck.
Yeah, that was...
I mean, you could hear the episode, and trust me, I've been on plenty, and I probably sound like shit.
You can?
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, no, that VHS Massacre
You
was...
don't
have
no.
this thing going on for
Oh, no,
yeah.
yeah,
It's definitely this, and then you
I-
hear
I tried
Chad
to
yelling
listen-
in the background, going, "Hey guys!"
No, I was saying that's what you sound like.
Yeah.
You almost need to single out people's voices like with a computer program.
Yeah, I worked hard to get VHS Massacre
No, and
to
it sounds good because I know what it did sound like.
Yeah,
So,
I guess-
What-
yeah.
how it
Yeah.
sounded there.
I was not there,
Yeah.
but considering, yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
cleaned it up.
anyway, they've got. I think they're up to like 10 or 11 shirts now. They have fake news articles.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're all
prints you can pick.
badass.
Yeah, they're badass. And
Oh,
he's getting
yeah.
ready to drop. I think at least like 4 or 5 within the next month, 2 months. So, giftshopofhorrors.com. Check them out.
Yep.
Done and done.
And last but not least, this lucky fucker who went to Monroeville Mall, as you can see by his shirt, and there was a memorial for George Romero, if I'm not mistaken, right?
There was.
Right
Yeah.
after he passed.
There was a roped off area with flowers, and a lot of the locals that had starred in some of his zombie movies actually signed their headshots like with notes to George Romero and laid it near the wreath with his head.
I would have
with
lost my
his-
shit.
That's awesome.
I cried.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Like,
I would have cried.
Yeah.
Not even ashamed of it. Like I fucking cried.
No,
'Cause
yeah,
I'm
it was
getting
fucking
choked up
crying.
thinking
Right.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
but-
serious.
Because it was our host, Michael Bickett's idol, George Romero.
Absolutely. I've
Yes.
been
Yeah.
obsessed with George Romero and his movies in general, not just his zombie movies, since I was a kid. And that was my big nerd in horror for the longest time. I have talked about this on previous episodes, but a lot of the black and white movies in horror is where I really got my start because it was free at the library to rent the VHSs, and my mom thought that if it was in black and white, it was totally okay for a kid to watch, which is super not true if you've seen Night of the Living Dead. Like, it's not good for an 11-year-old necessarily, but I was like, this is amazing, and just got obsessed.
It's great for
after
kids
that.
who didn't have cable either.
Yeah.
Because that's where you got
And
to see them all.
That's where it started. But along with that was, Frankenstein and Dracula and Creature from the Black Lagoon and the Mummy, like all the original Universal monsters. They had copies of that at the library, and so I got indoctrinated into these early horror films at a very early age.
Yeah, and I even meant to add on to that because not only did you have the library, but if you were local around here when Fox 35, the local channel was new, that's all they basically played. I mean, you had old school like the original Star Trek, stuff like that, but when it came to like Friday, Saturday nights...
We got After Midnight.
After Midnight, all the classic horror movies were being played all night long.
That makes my heart happy.
Yeah, it was great. Well, of course, you see what the station is now.
Well, let me do my my plug real quick, and then we'll get to Mary Shelley. Was the first thing we're going to hit on. I am Mike the Hobbit Bickett, host of Geeks Under the Influence. I'm going to be launching a new podcast the first of the year by the name of Quite Contrary, where it's basically two people go in to talk about a subject, and they don't know if they're going to be for or against it until the episode starts. So you might have somebody that's obsessed with Star Wars that has to go anti-Star Wars, or obsessed with Universal Monsters and has to go anti-Universal Monsters, or somebody that hates Universal Monsters and has to talk in support of it. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're looking to do once a week's two-person podcast. Should be a ton of fun. So definitely check out GUIpodcast.com for information on that, on Geek Fathers, episodes of Geeks Under the Influence, and also articles from our panelists. We should be dropping a review of The Kingsman, The Golden Circle here pretty soon. And we also have the finishing up, hopefully very soon, of the A through Z movie marathon that Groots is doing for the website as well. So just check it out, GUIpodcast.com. Also subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, all that stuff. And follow us on social media. All those links are at GUIpodcast.com. And now on to Universal Monsters! So excited. Will, we were talking about how Mary Shelley's a bitch, apparently.
Yeah.
Tell us about the
more.
cunt.
Yeah. Well,
The new word you learned.
Oh, yeah.
The cunt.
This is dating back to why my interest in horror films was always, it started with when I was a kid watching black and white films once again. A lot of TNT movies was where I saw the Universal horrors, because my parents had cable, and I'd sit there and watch Nick at Night and watch the Munsters and Addams Family. And it became kind of that thing, and those are all up there. And of course, Aliens, which was a movie we were talking about earlier, was my first rated R movie when I was in second grade, and it happened to be the same day I learned the word cunt.
Nice.
Because of my friend's birthday, who I was going to, we made him a dot matrix printer banner that said "Happy Birthday, Clint," and the L and the I were too close together. My mom says, "No, we can't do that. We can't take that." And I'm like, why?
That's way too British.
And I'm like, why?
Happy birthday, you cunt.
What's cunt? And she's like, never say that word again. So later that night, I learned the word cunt. I tell all my friends, and then I saw Aliens, which was my first rate. My mother was thrilled.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, totally off topic for Universal, but it's part of the building blocks of my love for horror. Happened the same day I learned the word cunt.
I love about this episode is that for a lot of us, these are some of the earliest horror movies that we got to see was, Frankenstein and Dracula and the Mummy. Yeah. So these are long-standing loves for a lot of us.
So Mary Shelley being a cunt was not the title, but was the general consensus of my senior paper in high school about how, everyone knows the story where she and Lord Byron and everybody had this contest to write these horror stories, and that she was
really, she just didn't want to have a three-way. So she was like, hey, I got an idea. Let's write stories.
Yeah. No, but
calm down, cowboy. Calm down.
But she wrote it in the idea that one of the most horrific things that she could imagine was the idea of a modern Prometheus and someone playing God. So I wrote an entire story about how modern medicine, if they had listened to Mary Shelley, would be nothing, and Mary Shelley's just a bitch.
Which, also, it's good lead into the fact that a lot of people, they credit, like, for example, Frankenstein and the title of it being about the monster. Well, Frankenstein in itself, the story was about the guy creating the monster.
Victor.
Victor.
No.
Frankenstein.
No. The doctor was Henry Frankenstein.
Oh,
yeah.
Victor is what started getting used during the modernization of everything.
You're right. But it still stands that the original story was less about his monster and more about his insanity and how his obsession with creating life and being God, and then eventually creating this thing, which of course turned around to bite him in the ass, essentially, because it became the terror that everybody was like, you can't do this, and he ended up doing it. Ended up turning out to be exactly what they told him it would be.
I think it's a personal opinion here, but I don't think you would be able to get a dude to write that story. Looking at the time that Mary Shelley was coming up in, where there were very strict ways that women were supposed to behave one way or another, and she was not one that necessarily leaned on those parameters. She was more of a lighthearted spirit about things. So having that normalcy forced upon her in society was something that she probably drew from when developing the character of the monster that was being forced into things that he didn't fully understand.
Really quick to note with that, part of it was possibly played into the fact that when it was first published in 1818, it was anonymously published.
That's correct.
Yeah, because... Sorry. All right. Well, first off, to play off that real quick, because a woman, to be known that it was a woman that wrote it, it probably wouldn't have been published, first off. Second off, playing off a couple things you said, or at least one main thing you said, like how you see the man do that. You see Dr. Frankenstein as he goes through the movie, how he's, you catch him when he's already in creation of the monster, so he's already kind of like out there. But, of course, when he gets him, he's alive, the infamous words. But then at the end, when he starts kind of teetering off and going, oh shit, what the fuck did I do?
Right.
But then because even though you don't like it, Bride of Frankenstein, you see it come back. You see how he roller coasters back into it when the other doctor convinces him to help make the bride.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep that level, but then he really loses it again when he's creating the monster.
Right. And, to bring back to the point of a woman writing it at that time, and you're saying, it doesn't look like it's the perspective of a man writing the story. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at it, it's from the woman's perspective of how a man's pride and how that far that takes him. Yeah. And a man is just not going to write that about himself.
Well, not at that era.
Not in general. Not in that era, because there was too much pride.
Right.
Yeah. And what I get from what she brought out of is actually, it's not just the consequences of trying to play God, but it's the consequences of man's obsession. And a man at that time would not have written that.
Right.
Because out of just pure arrogance wouldn't have thought to take that note.
And societal pressure, too.
Yeah.
That showed weakness.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
Like, oh, you're talking about like the downside of manhood. Well, you're an asshole. Like, don't shh. Yeah. Quiet. You're going to fuck it up for the rest of us.
If a dude wrote it, it would have been about how he was all powerful, was able to create life, and then he was able to extinguish it by the end of it on his own.
Yeah,
it would have shown him as the ultimate hero.
And
I'm sorry.
You did have to do it that way.
Yeah.
real quick, I can't remember the exact line. That's why I want to ask real quick, is it was cut from Frankenstein for the longest time. After he says it's alive, he has a line about how God, now I know what it feels like to be God.
The version that I watched had that.
Yeah.
Had the
They
had
brought
the
it
line.
back.
They brought it back
They
in.
had to find an old audio recording,
and you
of
could
that to
kind
add
of
it
tell
back
where
in.
it cuts as well.
I don't know. It jumped in my head as Young Frankenstein, where it's like the difference between like a woman writing the story and how the Frankenstein actually ends up, as opposed to possibly a man writing it, where instead of it being like just a monster who goes around killing people, instead he's just on stage singing it, putting on the hits. Like that's like putting on the hits.
I just figured that if like a dude wrote it, it would be a lot closer to like a Michael Bay movie, or it happened. It was called Universal Soldier. Like they've already done that movie.
Well, I was going to try try to keep it innocent of my son, like I was saying with the windmill where he was just trying to say boom because he expected
Frankenstein
the
like
explosion,
walking
you
away
know?
from an explosion, just
That
like
brings a-
slow motion.
Shit.
Great question at the table. Why has Dolph Lundgren never played a Frankenstein role? He'd be fucking
Oh, he
perfect.
has.
With
He
that
has
fucking
every
forehead?
role he's ever played.
I'm like, is there one that I don't know about?
No, every role.
That fucking forehead, man. Jesus Christ.
I know. You don't even need makeup, just green paint.
Every
That's all he
dialogue
needs.
moment that he has in the Expendable movies.
Right. Well,
I mean,
That forehead makes Ted dance and go, damn.
Jesus Christ.
But no, let's get into. We talked a bit about Frankenstein, but 1931 was really the birth of the blockbuster horror movie, and that started with Dracula.
Yes.
Was the first one. Later on that year, Frankenstein came out around the same time. It was a family-run operation at Universal at that point, and when the son started taking over is when he started leaning towards adapting some of these classic horror literatures into a little bit better budget horror films.
We should give a little bit of precedence to the earlier ones. Dracula did kick it off for the modern, like the big, like you said, the top 5. But before that, there was Phantom of the Opera, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, all that. Those were the silent movies. It was before the talkie pictures. So they were great horror. They were great origins. But Dracula was the Kickstarter for the universal monster, like, make you shit your pants when you're 5 years old.
Yeah.
It was, and you were talking to the family part. The son, it took over at like 21, and he hated Bela Lugosi. He did not want the stage actor to play him at all. And Bela Lugosi actually took a massive pay cut to take a role. For the whole film, he got $3,500 for at a time where unknown actors were getting $10,000.
Wow.
Oh, that just made me think of the stories of Bela Lugosi, like even on his deathbed, that his, Vincent Price, I think it was Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, and shit, if I can remember, one of the other horror stars,
Christopher Lee.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We're standing over top of his coffin, and he was buried in his Dracula costume, and just because everyone always joked on not liking Bela Lugosi,
Right.
One of them leaned over and goes, "Do we drive a stake into his heart just to make sure?"
What a hell of a way to go. That would be a wonderful funeral. If I was him, I would have written that down as saying, please do that right before they bury me.
I want someone to jump over the crowd to do it as well.
My family
Just like
screams in horror. Like, it's cool. It's cool. We're saving your life.
Somehow get the world to act like a Zack Snyder movie, and you slow-mo as you jump over the first 2 pews of the church to like slam a stake into his heart.
What were you going to say? It's what I thought
Slam
you
a
were
dick
going
into
to say.
Bela Lugosi.
Yes, slam a dick into Bela Lugosi. That's my kind of party.
we're just dicking Lugosi all night long,
That's how you kill a vampire, right? You slam a dick into him. Is that?
Yes.
Slam
That's
a dick
exactly
into
how
his
that
corpse.
works.
Right, necrophilia.
Holy
Awesome.
shit.
Go for it.
But that's important to talk about, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was less about being creepy and more about the
disfigurement of humankind.
well, I'm sure the underlining of the story, but as far as the audience was concerned, the makeup, and the aesthetics of it was the first time they had really seen something of that nature. And then you get like Phantom of the Opera, which not so much, but then you get into Dracula. And Dracula was one of the things where, like, the atmosphere in that movie, the sets, the way that they were designed, the costumes weren't really seen. That was the first time anything like that's really been seen in that nature. And you probably, they read it in the stories. Vlad the Impaler, it was an old story. It's a historical figure. But where that led into, became more of, that brought it into the creepy realm. Dracula, when I remember watching the original one, that brought it into the creepy realm because you look at him and the way he was playing it was just so dead-eyed. But at the same time, he had so much fucking style for that time period.
Mm-hmm. Well, you bring it into the creepy realm, but
I've got to disagree with the not so much makeup thing on Family Opera. Did you see what Lon Chaney was wearing?
No, I'm not. Yes, I did.
Prosthetic wise,
Yeah.
He can only wear his teeth for like 30 minutes at a time because it hurt him so much.
Compare that to the Notre Dame. Compare that. It's not comparable.
I'm not saying it's better either or. I'm just saying back then the actors put themselves to utter hell to bring that to screen.
Yeah.
Which actually created a legacy for Lon Chaney Jr. because
Didn't
he
he create
had big
his-
shoes to fill.
Didn't
Yeah.
he do his own create his own makeup though?
He had a lot of input.
Yeah.
on his own-
Yeah, a lot of
on his own
input.
makeup.
Well, I was gonna say Lon Chaney, the makeup they did for the, as we said, starting with the Dracula, the blockbuster ones, would not have existed without what Lon Chaney did,
Right.
and the
Mhm.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Phantom of the Opera, and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That hump on his back was like 25 pounds of plaster that he wore for the
Yeah.
entire movie. It was insane
It-
what he did for that.
It
And that-
wasn't just like stuffing a pillow in. It was.
I just thought that was a baby Basil Rathbone that he stuck stuff in there.
That actually references to Frankenstein too. The makeup, that the lumbering that Boris Karloff did,
Yeah.
was because he had so much makeup on his eyes he could barely see.
Yes.
And he'd done things as far as even taking the bridge out of his mouth so his face would sink more inhumanly to one side. You know.
Yeah.
And quick,
Yeah.
is he also hated when they gave speaking parts to the monster because he had to put the cheek plate back in and he lost that sunken look in the face.
Yeah.
But part of the
That's
reason
why he
that
looks fatter in the second.
Basically, yeah.
he talks like a lot more in the second one,
Right.
Like a whole lot more.
We
But-
figured it out.
But the talking part of it is, I think part of the reason why Bella actually gave up on that role in the first place is that you look at the original text from Mary Shelley, and the monster is very talkative. Is able to have a conversations about what life is, and like these deep intellectual conversations. Whereas
Which they
you look at the script, and he's like, fire, woo, just like not.
they didn't get to most of the actual book until
And
they were really doing the Bride of Frankenstein. That's
Yeah.
really where
Like the fire bad thing is from Bride,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they didn't really get into a lot of the speaking of it. And when Bella looked at that, he was like, I don't want to do this. I'm way better than this. And was like, Boris, you got
and
this.
that bit you in the ass later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well, of course, Boris was like, "Fuck you."
Well, actually, the issue was in the original script, there was no speaking. The script that Bela Lugosi looked at was entirely different
that's
from the
right.
one Boris
No, you are
Karloff.
right.
It was just pure bloody violence. There was no nuance to it whatsoever. That's why he turned it down.
And a beautiful transition for speaking versus not speaking. The Invisible Man.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
entire script was written that you couldn't be seen. You
Yeah.
had to only do it as a voice actor,
yeah,
Right.
which is where Claude Rains just nailed it.
his manic stuff was fucking incredible.
Where he actually loses it.
Mhm.
But I was gonna say a great comparison just to show like a great actor was if you watch V for Vendetta. Because V has on the mask the whole time, but he's talking and the way he uses his hands, same type of thing. You have to use your vocal, your pitches, everything like that.
Tom Hardy's Bane.
Well,
you could still see his eyes though.
Yeah,
like
but-
he was very emotive.
Yeah, that is true.
He's still
Right.
talking through.
Could you
the
imagine
mask,
if,
just
like-
like V for Vendetta?
If it was without the mask in V for Vendetta, it was just like Agent Smith with a hat. It's like,
Well, there would have been Agent Smith severely third-degree burned with a hat.
yeah,
So
It-
he wouldn't have looked like Agent Smith.
more Red
Freddy
Skull
Krueger.
Agent Smith.
Agent Smith as Deadpool as V for Vendetta.
Holy shit.
but as far as
Yes, can we get that, please?
as far as articulation goes, it was an art. Now so much it's a lot easier because they can just go and it's easier for them to go into a studio and record it.
Right.
And then they really had to articulate. You had to be amazing with that. Like Invisible Man, like you were saying, like the way that he would articulate his words, you couldn't see anything. So you had to understand everything that he was saying, and you had to not only understand it but feel it.
Well, I was bet you Kyle actually said something, somewhat decent.
Don't just don't. It'll get to his head, and then it'll blow up, and then it'll shine
All right,
more on
all
the
right.
camera. So
Fuck the cameras
Well,
up.
Edit that later.
yeah, right.
I think I saw Steven kind of reach his hand up his ass and play him as a puppet. That's why he was talking so well for a moment. So,
Well, he may wish he.
yeah,
would like
don't
to do
smell
that.
the hand. Don't smell. But again, the same thing. It's all these guys can do. They can't. They're not like someone like me who I talk with my hands and stuff. They had to be off to the side, like showing the different emotions, especially that where he really does the insane like towards the end, just going off the rails type shit, he had to do that voice only, and it was really fucking impressive.
Yeah, especially for that time period and the recording equipment I'm sure they had on.
Oh yeah,
Could not have been easy.
yeah, truth.
Now, we've touched on Frankenstein and Dracula a fair amount. Actually, more on Frankenstein than anything else. But we haven't really touched a whole lot on the Mummy. We've touched on Invisible Man a little bit, but the Wolfman as well.
Which
I've been waiting to
Bring it.
I want to bring up that we definitely need to talk about the Wolfman because of the title of the show, and that Lon Chaney Jr. was a raging alcoholic.
Yes.
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 Yep. But
There's-
also, he was also in, count 'em, 9 different original Universal
Does
movies.
he have the
afford
most?
his alcohol problem.
Yeah, no shit.
Right. But does he have the most movies
Most
out of all the
reoccurring role. 'Cause he did the
yeah.
Wolfman, Frankenstein. He was the Mummy. He played every
Right.
monster except
Gotcha.
for Creature.
Yeah.
and Invisible Man.
One bit was that he was in one of the Abbott and Costellos, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Abbott Costello, Wolfman. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was Wolfman.
He was Wolfman, and he hated the fact that they were doing the Abbott and Costello thing with it because he said that it like belittled the monsters. But he said nobody else was going to be able to play that role like he could, so he took the role anyway. I think that's just bullshitting to get a paycheck so you can afford more like really decent scotch. Like, I think that's-
Wouldn't you?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, come on.
So I actually this week, in preparation for it, watched a bunch of rewatched a bunch of them, watched them with the audio commentary, and the one I found that was hilarious was the audio commentary of Wolfman and talking about Lon Chaney Jr. being on the set and how he was, a good actor and everything, but his I can't think of her name right now, but the actress who played the love interest of the Wolfman actually off the set hated Lon Chaney because he was such a drunk and would get a little too
get hands.
Touchy?
yeah, basically. So she hated working with him.
Evelyn Ankers, I
Yes.
think. Yeah.
Just I started laughing at that. That was I learned probably the most from watching that documentary this week from
Fair enough.
movies.
I was going to talk about specifically Wolfman because that was not the first werewolf movie in the universe.
No, it was the Wolf something.
Wolf of London.
Wolf of London, yeah.
Yeah.
But that one is better known because of the transformation sequence. The 20-second on-screen transformation sequence that took over 10 hours to film.
Oh,
right.
Because he had to stand perfectly still as frame by frame they applied more makeup.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Funny. During that the history of the Wolfman that I was watching this week, apparently that was what Lon Chaney would tell everybody was he had to stand still the whole time. No, he had a chair. He got to go sit down. They had some apparatus they put his face in.
Oh, to lock where it
lock
was.
where he was. They'd move it, shoot it, put it back. He'd go sit back down. They do a little more makeup. But Lon Chaney would just
Son
tell
of a
everybody
bitch.
he stood there for
What
10
a
hours.
dick.
Right?
I'd heard that story before. I was listening to this and I'm like, you fucking ass.
But I believe, like Kevin stated, it wasn't the first one. The Wolf of London, I believe, was another a testament to Lon Chaney's dedication to costume work, being
Yeah.
the wolf, because that was some other painful shit he had to wear.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, no, I thought
no,
you
yeah,
were-
I'm done.
Oh, okay. I was about to say because the next time you see any decent werewolf change is Werewolf in London. American Werewolf in London.
50 years later.
Yeah.
Well, I beg to differ on that. Actually,
That came out before Monster Squad, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
God
But I'm
damn it,
saying
shut up.
after that,
Fuck.
probably one of the best on-screen transformations
Yeah.
is in Monster Squad, in the phone booth.
No, Howling's better. That came out before.
Bullshit.
Howling came out before.
I argue that.
You can
greatly.
argue it doesn't mean you're
Four
right.
words. 4 words. Shut the fuck up.
Huh? Kiss my ass,
That's
motherfucker.
That's 3 words. Count.
Oh, I wasn't counting. I was just
Anyway.
saying kiss my ass,
Oh,
motherfucker.
okay, yeah.
Little known fact actually is that Frankenstein that we know, the James Well directed film, was not the first adaptation of Frankenstein for film. There was
Oh, yeah.
Edison Studios, as in Thomas Edison, in 1910 did a 16-minute short film called Frankenstein. It was a silent film that is one of the most sought after lost films in film history currently. There are thought to be 2 prints available, but I think one is assumed to be held by a private collector, whereas the other one is unaccounted for.
I was say they actually had about 12 seconds of that in a documentary I was watching earlier, and Frankenstein's monster is like this burnt husk.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so
Okay.
this is one of those films that, like, if you happen to be at a thrift store and you see a reel-to-reel, you know, and it says Frankenstein 1910, you buy that shit no matter what the price, and you'll be rich.
True.
Because
Oh
it's-
shit!
true.
You can just stop working,
Just
retire.
stop working.
You're good.
You're good.
It's gonna show
How
up.
mu-
It's gonna show up in a fucking yard sale.
Yeah,
By
seriously,
accident.
though.
That's how it happens.
Like, so my mom
trying to
had
track-
this in the basement for years.
How
track
much
down
you want to
Wonderland.
bet that if I go to our home office, because I work for General Electric, Thomas Edison started that. How much you want to bet it's in the basement up in Cleveland?
Right.
How much you want to bet?
Road trip.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
There was
I can get us
also
access. You know.
there was also another film version they did in 1915, and all that exists of that is a poster, an advertising poster. That's
A
it.
poster.
There's no copy of anything having to do
jeez.
with the film.
Oh,
whatsoever.
man.
Fuck, dude.
That's a tease.
Right?
Not even a film to
But that
put your hands on.
that's kind of
Yeah.
how it happened back in the day. I mean, one of the long-running things with Doctor Who, which started in the 1950s, is that a lot of those tapes that they recorded episodes on, they taped over with other shit from BBC.
60s.
So there are just, or 60s, so there's episodes that are just don't exist anymore.
Kind of a hard term, but to get back to what we were talking about, the Wolfman, because we obviously
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
it's literally been a Frankenstein-centric
Sure.
episode
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
far.
Right.
But
It's so good.
I mean, it is. It is really good.
Yeah.
But that's also because it's your favorite monster. Mine
Yeah.
happens to be the Wolfman, and like we've
sir.
already discussed the transition scene, which was groundbreaking for the time. The other big thing that the Wolfman offered was it had the first real score out of the Universal
True.
monsters.
Yeah.
and it was a really good, haunting, like loud, very it fit what they were trying to
Right.
do with the landscape features of the Wolfman walking on, which, by the way, Lon Chaney Jr. walked on his fucking tippy toes. If you watch the movie,
Yeah.
he walks on his tippy toes.
Well-
They act like he's got arched feet. It's fucking great.
It wasn't
Yeah.
the last of the big monsters, but it was a full decade after Dracula
Oh yeah,
and Frankenstein.
the last was Creature,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was
But that's in the Universal world, the Wolfman, in my opinion, is definitely one of the scariest. It's probably the scariest because, unlike the others, the Wolfman changes. There's no humanity there, or there's very little. It's all based on instinct and to feed, and to kill. Even Frankenstein's monster at some point would show a semblance of humanity because
Right.
he was in fact a human brain. But the Wolfman, was like he changed into a
Primal.
man wolf, very primal and then very, so it always, for me as a fan, scared me more once that transformation came to be locked in a room with the werewolf, you know what I mean, unable to get out versus Dracula.
Right.
yeah, and as the series went on and you had the sequels, I really fell in love with the Wolfman strictly because of him dealing with it after the original movie. Now, it might have been because, life imitating art, like Lon Chaney Jr. was an alcoholic, but the whole tormented soul thing was what really drew me onto the Wolfman. He was this man who couldn't kill himself.
I just figured he was Catholic. Like that's
I hate myself. I want to die.
He's like,
I can't do anything
he's
right.
like the Hulk, I put a bullet in my mouth, the other guy spit it out.
But seriously, like, he can't kill
Well
himself.
done.
He can't
Yeah.
kill himself, but he wants somebody to kill him, and no one will because they don't believe him. And by the time they see him, they're like, "Oh, you're dinner now. Fuck
Yeah.
you."
Yeah, they're
so
fucking-
yeah.
You DED did.
You actually do bring up a point about being that had the least human nature of anything. Because even the creature from the Black Lagoon, which was basically just the story of King Kong in a swamp.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I don't think I've ever heard it put that way.
Like
but yeah,
a tiny
it's
King
true.
Kong in a swamp.
Absolutely right.
Get me started on the creature. The writer even admitted later that it was the story of King Kong in a
wow.
swamp, based off of some crazy guy from the Amazon that they were having dinner with him, and the writer and Orson Welles were having dinner with this one Hispanic actor, and he went off about this monster from the Amazon that they would feed a maiden to once a year and would go away, and it got really awkward apparently because the guy was like, no, I'm not kidding. And I'm like, no, I'm serious.
No,
this is what this Amazonian tribe does.
His name's Steve. He's
But-
kind of a dick.
But even the idea was that the creature had the human nature. He saw the beautiful woman, the shadow of her, and he now
Right.
desired something else because of that.
Right.
Well, yeah, and the part of what that also comes from is that I mean it's a creature just doing what it does. The humans came to his territory and fucked with him. He was just doing his normal shit. He was just like, "Hey, I'm Joe. How you doing?" And then they shot him with a fucking harpoon in the
It's
ass.
Steve.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah,
I'm
Steve,
sorry.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Steve, and you shot a harpoon in my ass, so you
Steve
pissed me
Creature.
off.
Because
you know?
I thought a girl was pretty.
Right, exactly.
You shot me because a girl was pretty?
His name was Steve Gilman. Very nice guy to his
Jesus.
friends. But
My name is Steve Bob Creature.
Gil.
Steve Bob.
Gilman.
Steve Bob.
Gilman.
Gil-
Gilman.
Gilman.
yeah.
It's getting close to the time for us to take our mid-episode break. But before we do, I just want to make a notable mention because it really doesn't take long to cover the topic. But the other one we haven't really talked about is the Mummy, and there we go. Give me
Yeah.
a break.
That's mommy.
No, we're gonna get on that a little bit on the second half
was an
because
okay film.
I want to talk
No,
about
the first one was okay.
Oh wait.
the first one.
Sequels sucked.
He does go. Eh?
No, his arm is wrapped up. He's got one
No,
arm.
yeah, well,
and he drags. that's all he does.
That
And he chokes. That's
that's a
all he
hol-
does.
All he did was inspire an '80s new wave song. Like that's all he did.
So you know the best way to deal with the Mummy is just
True.
to unwrap him, and he will fucking fall
Okay,
apart.
we get it. You like Monster Squad.
I'm just saying, it's
Jesus
the only way to.
Christ.
It's
But-
the best way to deal with him.
So Boris Karloff, like definitely that him being the Mummy, people give him credit for that. I get it, but it doesn't matter because you're wrapped in fucking cloth. Like who
Yeah.
gives a shit who you are at that
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Like that's why Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney Jr. did the role too.
yeah, it was easy.
I was going to say one of my most favorite facts about The Mummy is the guy who wrote it used to be a reporter and was present at the cursed opening of Tutankhamun's tomb.
Oh, hey.
That's cool.
So
that is a
nice.
nice
So that
little
was
nugget.
very nice.
That was the inspiration.
That's a GUI fact.
Exactly.
GUI fact.
Yeah.
All right, on that note, we're going to take our short break.
Please.
Take a listen to information about some trivia happening in town, and when we come back, we're going to be doing what we're drinking and making a drunken scene. So stick around. This is Mike the Hobbit, direct from Fallout on a trivia night, telling you to come here every first and third Monday for trivia between 8 and 10, 25-cent wings, drink specials, prizes, and tons of really inappropriate trivia. It's a lot of fun. Do you guys agree? Definitely come out and enjoy trivia every first and third Monday at Fallout. In addition to Fallout, Geeks Under the Influence takes over Wonderland on the corner of 18th and Main Street for Geeks Under the Influence trivia, ridiculous trivia, goofy music, great food, cheap drinks. 1727 East Main. Come and check us out 8 to 10 every second and fourth Tuesday. We're back for the second half of Geeks Under the Influence, episode 121, all things Universal Monsters. So thank you guys so much for joining us on the second half. As always, second half is going to go seriously off the fucking rails on this episode. Woohoo! And part of the reason is because of what we are drinking, and we can't do what we're drinking without theme music and Mr. Smash. We got a new one for you tonight.
Here we go. Hey, we're fucking drinking. We're getting drunk. You want to know? Well, here you go. Hey.
All right. Now, is that Phantom of the Opera or Yanni? I don't know.
That's fucking chopping broccoli from SNL.
There you go.
That was called Fair Use Piano Music. That's what that was called.
I like how you extended the.
Hey. Yeah, I threw some echo there on the end there.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was real good.
So, yeah, we've got some shares this evening. What are we starting with? What's in the cup to start?
This
Lowdown.
is Hardywood's Benny and the Fest.
Benny and the
Their
Fest. Is
Oktoberfest.
their Oktoberfest.
Marsden style.
When did it open up? When did they release this?
St. Benedict's Oktoberfest, so September 16th.
Nice. Okay, so the beginning of Oktoberfest, actually. So,
Yep.
Makes perfect sense.
It's good.
I'm drinking.
It's always good.
what's the ABV on that?
8.5.
8.5. Okay, so it's not a dick kicker.
It's
No.
a gentle
Stronger than
caress.
most Oktoberfest, though.
It's definitely.
It's got a little more hop than I would expect on an Oktoberfest,
Yeah.
though. I
Just
mean, it's
a
not
touch.
bad. It's just just
It's
a-
hoppier than last year's. Last year's was better.
Yeah.
That's good.
Wait, is it
It's not-
8.5
it's not
or
too bad.
5.8? Might
Chewing
be
it a little.
5.8.
Yeah.
5.8. Yeah, that sounds a little closer
You
to an
getting the after.
Oktoberfest.
The aftertaste on that
The
wheel.
other one
it's
that
hot,
you
man.
had was.
Yeah. It's a little thick.
The Schlafly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was
That's potent. It's a potent one.
So yeah,
sneaks up on
Yeah,
you.
drinking piss water. over
Hardywood
there.
just about every single weekend has a new release that comes out. They're about to start. They just pushed the release dates for all their gingerbread stouts.
Yes.
The deluge of the gingerbread.
Like,
seven.
yeah.
7 releases this year.
7 releases of gingerbread
Jesus
stout.
Christ.
This actually Saturday from recording is rum barrel pumpkin, which tastes like
Not your thing.
tastes like rum.
Okay,
That's about it.
All right.
I like rum,
Yeah.
just not in beer form.
See, I don't get into the whole pumpkin spice thing, but I do like the
Yes.
rum pumpkin that they do. I am a fan.
It doesn't taste like pumpkin. It tastes like rum.
What, you can't get in touch with your basic?
Go ahead, let's just pass it. Whoa, you're getting a little feisty over there.
Can't
I'm
get in
hearing.
touch with your basic.
Here, you want me to-
Your basic Han Solo bitch. Yeah,
Basic, yeah.
shit. Dude, there's pumpkin spice Oreos, right? Fuck this shit.
You know what? No, I'm actually gonna defend the pumpkin spice, not because I'm a pumpkin spicer. I don't know if there's an actual like
They're just closet
a,
kids.
a special name for people that love pumpkin spice.
Basic.
But I don't give a shit.
Basic bitch.
What it comes down to is that I love
It's
Halloween
another
and
chair.
Halloween season to a point where
I just don't.
anything that's Halloween related,
Are there any more
if it comes out, I want it to encompass everything that exists in the world. So whether it be Oreos or fucking cream
It doesn't mean it
cheese,
fucking tastes good.
half a cup.
That's the point.
No,
if
I
the end
agree.
result doesn't taste good, there's no fucking point of it
but
being
there's
pumpkin
also the
spice.
point that like I just don't buy it then.
Thank you.
Like that's
It doesn't need to exist if it's not good.
if nobody's buying it, it won't exist. People are buying it, and that's the thing is that if people are like balls deep in pumpkin spice, let them be balls deep in pumpkin spice. I don't give a shit. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. It's not like I can't get actual cream cheese because it's all pumpkin spice cream cheese. There's still regular cream cheese.
Yet.
Are you? Really?
Yet. It'll fucking take over, man.
I bet you it's
Telling
out
you.
there. It's just hasn't been around here. Bet you it's out.
Pumpkin
You're
spice
like
cream cheese, yeah.
you're like the
Probably.
alt right of pumpkin spice. It's like you give them
wow.
you give them just a little bit, and all of a sudden they're going to take over one day, and we don't get any pure white cream cheese. It's all pumpkin spice.
Yeah, the mixed guys all yeah.
You're,
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying
totally-
that to our Oreo friend over
Yeah,
here.
I mean
That's
that
why I felt comfortable saying it to him.
totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But I have some.
All right.
I
So
want that.
Someone can get pass it around.
So the,
Someone can get up. Fuck that.
the next one up on the
Oh, jeez, that got scary for a second.
the next one up on what we're drinking. Scotty P brought us a little tasty beverage from what is it? Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain is it wasn't on an episode I was on, but I guess you guys have had it before. But it's the Spooky, the aged bourbon barrels that is ale brewed with real pumpkin puree and Coroa nibs.
That's got some
Cocoa.
Cocoa nibs.
I know how to fucking read.
That's got some
It's
taste.
a little dark over here. Excuse me.
Let me need you to use your words.
Get it right there.
All right.
You're a light right there.
I am a light right there. I'm
Yes,
a
you
light
are.
in a world of darkness.
Ooh. Anyway, but I brought this just.
That sounds like the intro to a movie about you. It's like
You're not the Oreo we want.
In
The
a world
Oreo
of
we need.
darkness, there is a light.
But
And
he's-
that light is Lowdown Brown MacGyver.
But he's only
This
half
summer,
In the color of red.
join Geeks Under the Influence as
Right,
they
right.
talk about Lowdown Brown's asshole.
It's a little warm.
It's been in the
Your
fridge
asshole?
for a while.
Which
Well,
is surprisingly
your asshole
warm,
is warm,
I've
but
heard.
you know.
all right.
It
We
is
are.
very warm.
But the
Very
spooky
warm.
is to kick off the.
My
spooky,
asshole is spooky as well.
Yeah, your asshole is very spooky.
Oh, I'm gonna
Um,
double check and see if I can use "spooky asshole" as the name of this episode.
I doubt on iTunes it'll work.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Do it.
Just put dollar symbols.
I mean, it
in.
both works for your asshole and it also works for Bella Lugosi. So
There you go.
Truth.
But it's
That's a lot of taste.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
going on there.
It's a lot
There
going
there
on
is
there.
a lot, but it kicks off our October. We know how we do it on the GY, and for my normal drinking, I'm even doing another East Coast local of the Devil's Backbone, the Vienna Lager.
Smash is
Switch-
all too aware of.
Yeah, I know.
I had to tone it down from that because I would drink like a 6-pack and I'd just be fucked up the next day. Like it just destroyed my stomach.
That's
What's
a
that?
personal
In a
problem.
lager?
Yeah.
I remember
I
the days
know.
where a
Look,
6-pack was
I
enough.
was
Low down.
surprised
Low
as
down.
sad as you were.
Why would a 6-pack?
You are right now.
Yeah, that's. I Will's like offended. It's like a 6-pack. Like that's it.
Listen, you act. I'm just as surprised as anybody else.
No, you're
and
not.
Saddened by it.
You know you're a bitch.
That's what. Fuck you, motherfucker. I believe I was the last person awake every night for the bachelor party.
I was supposed to be drunk and passed out. It was my bachelor party.
That is true.
Fuck
Yeah.
you.
And
nope.
also, if you're the last one awake every night, doesn't mean you're failing at the bachelor party.
No, that means I was drinking
Yeah, no
as much
shit.
or more than
good
anybody
call,
else
Kevin.
and still
You were
awake.
failing at the
Now,
bachelor party.
If I remember correctly, you might have stayed up the latest, but also I remember you talking about puking up black shit like you had just come back from the upside down.
Because we cooked.
He was Will Byers. He Will Byers my bachelor
That was
party.
that was the ribs. Whoever cooked that outside.
Whatever. Everyone else is fine.
Everyone
That's
else
your
was
bitch
fine.
stomach. That's your bitch ass stomach.
Hey, I was fine. Still clean the
It
house.
turned it into
Whatever,
Jaeger?
dude. You puked up black sludge.
I
No
did-
one else
I,
did
I
that.
truly did puke up black
one else did
sludge.
that.
I swear to God, it really was like that fucking thing coming out of the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I said Will Byers.
I
Pay
gave
attention.
black sludge at my bachelor party, but that's because they probably fed me like 40 shots of Jaeger.
And
Fair
that
enough
was
on that.
mixed with black sludge, so it made complete sense.
Just
That
my soul.
Now, my bachelor party, one of my grooms
son-
they
yeah.
managed to send airborne a dozen shots of Jameson in the middle of
Oh,
a bar.
God, yeah.
That was spectacular.
was super fun.
Mm.
That was a good time though. We went to the escape room, and there was a pirate themed escape room, which was perfect for the pirate themed wedding. And
Which was the exact same escape room they did for the bachelorette party on the other side, and they beat it in nearly record time.
we did not beat
We
it at
did
all.
not.
We did not
I think
beat
the
it.
key was they did it first. We drank for 4 hours.
We drank
first.
for 4 hours before we went there. Yeah, so
You don't drink and go to an escape room. Sober
Yeah,
you up.
that's not
terrible.
good.
But
Bad
super
idea.
fun. It was the first one I've ever done.
whether
Had a
we
blast.
actually beat it or not, I am super down for going back to escape room. That
they
was
are
so much fun.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Like the pirate one, like the whole table moved and the whole floor moved. It was crazy.
Well, let's give a shout out to the specific escape room. It's Raven Chase over on what is it? Three Notch and
The Three Chopped and Patterson.
Three Chopped and Patterson.
Over by
Three
the-
Notch.
Three Notch. Sorry, that's a brewery.
It's on the backside of the Village
That's-
Shopping Center
Village-
at Three Notch. And,
Three Chopped and Param.
you messed me up.
Patterson.
Or Patterson. Three Chopped and Patterson.
You know what? Google it, bitch.
Yes. Raven Chase Adventures Escape Room. I've been told that is the one that you want to go to in Richmond. So check it out. They were perfectly delightful. They dealt with our drunk asses with a smile on their face and weren't dicks about it. So
Yeah.
that alone
Absolutely,
means
they
that
were
they
superb.
they get props for that. Now on to the next what we're drinking. Mr. Kevin, the Kevin of all trades, is one that brought us some tasty beverages from outside of East Coast local.
So, I have World's Fair beer, guys. If you would like to crack it open and start pouring it in a glass.
We got
We're
one over
splitting.
here.
We're
You got
splitting.
one over there?
We're splitting one. 4 splitting one, and 2 are splitting one. Is that how it's working?
We
Well,
can split anyway.
I've got
but I was
plenty.
just
I've got
trying-
plenty of spooky in me, but you know, if you,
You
need
do.
a little, I do.
Yeah, just
do.
try
I
it. Try
do.
it. It is a pale ale. Just a heads up, but give it a shot. And so I brought this thing I wrote up.
Pull up your dummy phone.
This is a recipe. I'm actually pulling up the review I wrote and sent to Lowdown and Hobbit.
yeah,
This is a recipe paying homage to the beer that was created specifically for
Oh, that smells
for
like hop up my
the
ass.
1982 World's Fair that took place in Knoxville, Tennessee. I thought World's Fair was appropriate.
Yeah.
The original was a lager. This is a pale ale. I found personally that the hop didn't really come through until the tail end of it.
It tastes. Yeah.
It's a very light, crisp beer. I really enjoyed it. It's made in Nashville, Tennessee by Fat Bottom Brewing, and it is 5.4% alcohol with a 35 IBU. So very light on the pale ale
Right.
side. And at the time I first tried it, it was 98 degrees outside. It was very nice for the day.
I feel
bet.
like this is
Yeah.
cold, but I feel like this needs to be a beer that's drank pretty cold.
Yeah.
For it
No,
to-
it's a cold
yeah.
beer. Like I said, it's a warm weather beer. You want to pull this straight out of the cooler.
Or out of the ice, like the ice bath.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the way to
Yeah.
drink this beer.
The kind of ice bath that would hurt your hand.
Yeah, that kind of like
Yeah.
your hands red from digging around in there. Yeah, this also tastes like a beer you would drink at a fair. So that works out well.
And this is not East Coast local. I actually have a few that I have left with the wonderful GUI. so that they can try beers that we can't get around here.
And I'm talking with Kevin. We're going to try to work out something where since he travels for work and ships us stuff, that we're going to be able to maybe get him to write up some reviews that we can put on the website about stuff around the country.
Yes,
Different beer reviews.
Yes,
So.
and it may be sporadic, but I think I do pretty well with the write-ups.
Yep.
You've been pretty happy with them.
Yeah,
so far.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna maybe work on doing something like that. But yeah, thank you so much for bringing this. And we've got a few more beers that we're gonna be releasing as shares during our October episode. So
we've got three more. Three more. I brought,
So
yep.
that's almost all of the episodes in October. So
There you go.
I'm pretty stoked about it. Is that all the shares?
I think so.
Okay, then we're going to anything special anyone's drinking, and so not anything that anyone's drinking. Yeah. Well, no, Will, I will give you the floor here, even though I'm fucking pissed about what you brought, but I get why you brought it.
So, all right. Well, wandering on my break today at Walmart, I stumbled across a Universal Monsters coffee mug that I found and picked it up today, even though
very
it's
nice
slightly
looking
broken.
mug.
Yeah.
But I didn't care because it was the only one they had. So I saw that and I figured I need to put something in that. So I picked the only green alcohol I could think and put absinthe in that. Yeah, that's what I've been drinking over here.
Oh, good.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That, and then for my chaser, I picked Coors Light. Yeah. And the reason I picked Coors Light is because this swill, I mean, they've got the great marketing. They've got the vented wide mouth can, the frost blue, all that nonsense.
All the shit that doesn't actually matter.
All the shit that doesn't
And the
matter to
de-water
facilitate this
inside of
bullshit
it.
down your throat. But you know what does matter? Is drinking this. It's called the Silver Bullet, and I'm convinced it protects you from werewolves.
So if there's any werewolves that come in and fuck up this panel, you're going to be fine.
They can suck my dick.
Well, I just figure
They wouldn't, though, because you've been drinking Silver Bullet.
Well, I just
You wouldn't
figure
want them
we'll
to
let him bleed on them, and that'll take care of it.
Dude, you could kill a werewolf with a silver bullet money shot.
Where is that porn? Where is that?
Dude, I bet you it exists. I
Some
bet
dude
you it exists.
Oh,
some dude chugging a Coors Light.
You know what it's called? Wolfman's got nards.
Oh.
No, it's Stephen King's Silver Bullet.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or it's some dude drinking silver bullet. He's like, I owe silver. Away.
No, it's just Corey Feldman coming in a werewolf's mouth.
Stephen King's Silver Bullet.
Oh.
Yeah, they
Yes.
gotta change.
Okay. No,
Yes.
that's fair.
And it was
That's
Corey
fair.
Haim, not Feldman.
Was it Haim?
It was Haim.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
seriously.
It was Gary Busey.
This is all very
Gary
confusing.
Busey
it
was
was
a drunk
his-
uncle. Yeah.
Yes, he was the drunk
I'm
uncle.
sorry. I think I was a teenager the last time I saw Silver fucking Bullet.
No, I was just
You
saying,
should,
like,
you should rewatch it. It's
It's
actually
it holds up.
one of the better. it
except for
does
the
hold up.
werewolf costume
Yes,
at the
the
end.
werewolf
That was
costume.
dog
Right.
shit.
When he shoots the fireworks in his eyes,
That was funny.
that was awesome.
That was good. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh dear. All right.
crippled dude in a wheelchair getting
So
accosted
that
by
is
a
what we're
werewolf.
drinking on this episode.
That's a party.
I don't think there's any
Nowadays,
other
social media
important
be all
shares.
over
Schlafly pumpkin ale.
Oh, the Schwefely. Yeah.
This is at 8%, which I didn't realize.
So you're fucked.
Yeah.
No, I realized at the begining of the episode, and I gave one to Kyle and traded him for a Yingling.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna have to take a priority drink.
Can I try a swig of that?
Oh, all right, let me open it. Go ahead.
All right. In the meantime, we're going to move on to our next segment before we get into Universal Monsters again. Making a drunken scene. Making a drunken scene. Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We read lines.
Seriously?
Out of all the episodes, that's actually the most appropriate because it's kind of Victorian and a lot of the stories.
I was thinking
we're
the same
talking
thing.
about-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty.
It fits.
You mean old?
Church
This
it up.
is what you mean, just really old.
All right, millennial. That sounds like old people music.
That smells like burning.
Sounds like that sounds
didn't
something
use
my
auto-tune.
granddad listened to.
Is that auto tune? I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I should do, making a drunken scene, but do the audio or the talking parts, but do it TI style, where I do like making a drunken scene.
Oh,
No.
How about now?
you try.
No.
Only I can do that.
No.
No.
Yeah, I
I'll
did
get you
that.
access
You
to some
can't
actual
do that.
auto tune.
Okay, All right.
Do not encourage that shit, Will.
Oh, sir, if you
so
want
glad
to do some Kyle remixes on what we're drinking, because I have the just him saying it where there's no audio behind it.
He does.
I've been doing remixes, and there's been remixes made. I can send it your way, and maybe if you want to put some like harsh industrial action on there or something like that.
Your brain looks like it's working really
And,
hard.
the gears are turning there. The
I think
gears
maybe,
are just
maybe
turning.
the angel spit version.
I like we're talking about harsh industrial, and the response is the gears are turning. Yes, because that's appropriate. For,
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
for harsh industrial. Okay, so making a drunken scene.
Whatever.
I'm so confused.
These are all scenes from the Universal Monster movies. The first one up is, of course, the first of the Universal Monster movies, 1931's Dracula, directed by Todd Browning, also known as the man who did Todd Browning's Freaks, which, if you have not seen that
it's
movie,
so good.
it's really
That's a
good.
great movie.
It's so
One of
good.
the scariest scenes in cinema. That guy in the gunny sack with the knife in
Knife
his
in his mouth. Yeah.
Yes.
crawling. You're like, what the fuck is he gonna do?
I know there's
But I'm terrified.
There's also a special edition version of it, which has a second disc with a documentary about the film and about freak shows back in the early days of America.
The
and everything.
legitimate sideshow freak shows.
Legitimate ones.
Yes.
The documentary itself is worth the purchase. Never mind the fact that the movie is good. I would thoroughly suggest. You know what? I'm going to throw that on our suggested Amazon purchases on the on GUI for the release of this episode. I own it. Yeah.
Wait,
no,
can we do that?
Yeah. We can
Yeah,
do
we
that.
can do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can totally do that.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
which, by
I've
the way,
got to go back through my movie.
that's a
Yeah.
good segue before we get into this, that Amazon is one of our sponsors, and we do get some money from them. And part of the way that we do that is from you going through the link at GUIpodcast.com to search for your Amazon products. Also, if you go to GUIpodcast.com, maybe turn off the ad block, because you're going to block all of the ads for Amazon. We actually handpick what is shown on all the articles for GUI Podcast from Amazon. So it's not just any bullshit. We're actually doing stuff that's related to the stuff we're talking about. So if we talk about a thing and you haven't seen that movie, we probably have it, like Todd Browning's Freaks, in the at the bottom of the article with the links to the episode and everything. So go to GUIpodcast.com, search for the link, or if you see the Amazon stuff at the bottom of an article, you go through there, you're through the link. Anything you purchase, whether it be the thing we showed you or anything else, we're getting credit for it. So you're helping out the podcast and shopping the way you normally do anyway. I mean, who doesn't shop Amazon these days?
Right. Basically.
Who goes to stores?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Fuck people.
Are there still stores?
I just happened to be at a Walmart to discover this.
Well, I was
That
gonna
was
say,
on-
it's
you
when
said
it's like
that was
you
on your break.
need something right that exact second.
I really
you're
just wanted
next
to
to
get the
something.
fuck out of work for a
That
half
was
an hour.
let me kill
Yeah,
some
true.
time.
Another really quick shout out, though, is Loot Crate. I am super fucking excited about October.
Yes.
This crate is out of fucking control. October is mythical, with stuff from Stranger Things, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Marvel's Thor Ragnarok, and Ghostbusters. That's a fucking home run. And if I understand correctly, the Stranger Things is a exclusive Funko Pop figure from Stranger Things.
They haven't done many of
So
those
exclusive,
in a
so
while.
only Loot Crate?
Only Loot Crate
Yeah.
will have this version of the Stranger Things figure. So,
Which, by the way, season 2
October
coming out
27th.
soon.
yeah,
And-
I'm super
Yep.
excited.
October 27th.
But make sure, if you shop Loot Crate, you do it through the link on our links page at GUIpodcast.com, so we get credit. And when checking out, you save $3. When checking out, to save $3 off your first crate. So crates are normally like $18-20. You're saving $3 off of that on your first crate. And trust me, it's worth it. You normally get a t-shirt every time, which is like most of the cost of the crate in general. And they're always rad as shit. So trust me, you're talking $40 to $60 worth of stuff for like $20 a month. And even if it's something you don't like, I guarantee you there's a friend of yours that likes the thing that you don't like that you can give it to as just a gift on their birthday, or just give it to them because you're nice.
Truth.
And I want to say that you can do that for anything on the Loot Crate site. It's not just the main Loot Crate. I get the Firefly Cargo Crate. They're individual crates for TV shows, that sort of thing, are downright amazing.
Yeah, they have
And if
the
you-
options.
And if you
Yeah.
if you love stuff like that, like say Firefly, I've been getting it since they started it, and I just have some outright amazing things. I have one of Wash's Hawaiian shirts. I have like 4 of Jane's T-shirts.
Nice.
They're very good crates. I get the Lootwear underwear, which are the just goofiest, nerdiest things that.
Well, you
only
were
my
nice enough to actually give me one of the
they
underwears.
accidentally sent me a pair in the wrong size, and
They sent you a Hobbit size.
They gave him a fatty size.
before it even got to my house. They had already sent me the correct size as well. They'd realized their mistake. I didn't even have to contact them.
Nice.
And
That's
I was
awesome.
like, I got 2 pair, and they're like, no, we messed
There's
up.
also Loot Pets, which
Yeah.
it's awesome.
which you got like collars and doggy bowls and all sorts of stuff
And toys
that are
and-
oftentimes the same theme as the Loot Crate for that month.
Right.
So
They are the same focus. And
Yes.
they do the matching T-shirts for
Yeah.
dogs and people.
all right, so let's get into making a drunken scene.
I didn't know.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
those are our sponsors. We had to
this.
give a shout out
Yes.
to our sponsors. But first up is Dracula from 1931. I will be playing Count Dracula. Renfield, who is Renfield?
I am Renfield.
Kevin.
I'll narrate that.
Okay. Is there narration?
Yes,
on that
there
one?
is.
Okay, cool. All right, so whenever I'm ready, I guess, I'm going to do really terrible Dracula. Are you ready?
Oh god.
I'm super excited about this.
Oh, fuck.
I am Dracula.
Oh, it's really good to see you. I don't know what happened to the driver and my luggage, and well, and with all this, I thought I was in the wrong place.
I bid you welcome.
Dracula goes upstairs. Renfield starts to follow him. Suddenly, Dracula hears wolves calling.
Listen to them, children of the night. What music they make.
Dracula goes up the steps and waits for Renfield, who, without difficulty, cuts open a hole in a huge spider's web using his walking stick.
The spider spinning his web for the unwary fly. The blood is life, Mr. Renfield.
Why, yes.
I don't know why Dracula's like straight up Russian. Like I know
Yeah,
it's
that was hard. That was
Yeah,
like
I know-
hard Russian.
I know it's Eastern European-ish, but
It's Hungarian.
like
Hungarian.
Did you
okay.
want some vodka with that?
No, like
I mean,
that's where the castle. It's in Transylvania. Is in like the outskirts of Hungary. So
Yeah.
like you just
No, I
said
went
Russian.
straight up
You went
Moscow.
You
Like,
went straight.
that
Red
was
Scare.
Cold War shit. That was Cold War shit.
I'm really
right
surprised
there.
you
Yeah.
didn't throw in Comrade.
Yeah, right. No
Yeah.
shit.
well, that was actually from the lesser known, just like in where they did the Spanish version. In the 2 hours in between the nighttime and the morning, they did a Russian version.
Between
where it's like
How do I do that in 2 hours?
Creatures of the night, what music they make.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like
really good.
Creatures
What-
of
was
the
that the
night.
swan-
What
Why do I
music?
feel like that version of it should have like techno music?
Yeah.
Like,
But no, but I mean,
creatures of the
dude, they have to go like creatures of the
absinthe.
night. What music they make?
His choice of drink was blood and absinthe.
Si, senor.
No, that was the nighttime
No,
Spanish
but
version.
was-
Instead of like
It was
seducing,
Juan
it
of
was
the
like,
Dead.
Bitches, come.
With the
Bitches,
Russian one,
come.
is that like Schwarzenegger in Red Heat?
All right,
Jump on
All right,
that.
all right, all right.
We
Yeah,
are
yeah,
we
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
train wrecking here.
Bride of the
Yeah, we are.
Frankenstein. Bride
Right off
of the
the bat.
Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein. I thought about doing Frankenstein, but there's just not a lot of dialogue in that movie.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
There's a lot
No.
of one dude standing and being like, "Oh, what I'm doing is I'm putting this thing to this thing to make a monster, and I'm playing God, and woo, and
And then
he's
you just see
alive."
like
and-
then you see like an image that says Abby Normal.
yeah,
Abby,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, Bride of Frankenstein. Frankenstein speaks a little bit more. So this is the famous scene, but yeah, a little bit more.
Just a little bit.
Famous scene between the hermit and the monster. Well-known scene from Bride of Frankenstein. Who is Hermit? That is Scotty P. And the monster will be
Me,
played by
baby.
Shiny Dome McGillicuddy, Kyle Smash.
What's great is that I have the same haircut as you, but you're Shiny Dome.
You are kind of greasy, bro.
That's true.
Hey, that's all right.
We need to get,
You're greasy stomach.
we need to
Hey,
get
I
like
need
a
to fix
kid.
my hair. Let me get a little bit of this.
I'm like my own slip and slide if you want to ride on.
You need to get a kid and play wig so that you look like Frankenstein.
Oh,
No.
shit.
Flat
Kid
top.
and play.
Yes.
That's like
Eraserhead.
That's like the ghetto Frankenstein.
That's the ghetto Frankenstein.
That's the name of the episode.
Blackenstein.
But it'll
Blackenstein. Holy shit.
My name is Black.
Almost as good as Blackula.
Right?
Blackenstein.
nothing is as good as Blackula. That movie is amazing.
All right.
Blackenstein.
All right.
It was?
Rein it in, boys. Rein it in.
Bride of Blackenstein.
Is Blackenstein is like love living, hate death by cop.
Oh.
I have no
Anyways.
idea. I've never seen it sober.
It'll be okay, Kyle.
All right, so Bride of Frankenstein, the monster will be played by Kyle Smash, and Hermit by Scotty P. Whenever you guys are ready.
Well, if these guys would shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's impossible on this.
I
podcast.
know. Shit. And now, for our lesson. Remember, this is bread. Bread.
Bread.
And this is wine. To drink.
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 Good.
We are friends. You and I. Friends.
Friends.
Good.
Good.
And now, for a smoke.
Lights a match.
No.
No. This is good. Smoke. You try.
Smoke.
Puffs a cigar.
Good.
Oh, you said that.
Oh.
Yeah. Good.
And this is fire.
Arr.
No. Fire is good, dummy.
Fire. No. Good.
There is good. And there is bad, dummy.
Good. Bad.
Dummy.
By the way, it's eerie how much this is similar to the first time Kyle was on the podcast,
Star Wars, yeah.
where we sat outside and was like, no, this is beer. This is cigar. You good. It's good. And he like, good? And I'm like, yeah, no, you drink. You smoke.
Be smoke.
Me smoke.
Be smoke.
Good. All right, the final one is from The Wolfman from 1941, one of the later, though not the latest, of the Universal Monster movies. We've talked about this a little bit going into the second half, and I would like to continue after this with talking a little bit more about The Wolfman before we get into all the rest of the ridiculousness of the second half.
Who's narrating?
Maleva. Who is Maleva?
That, I think was assigned to me because I didn't.
Yeah, that was assigned to you.
That's the old gypsy woman, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Your old gypsy woman, and Lowdown, you're Larry
The old
Talbot,
gypsy woman
right?
told me
Who's the
it would be
narrator?
this
I'll
way.
take the
Hobbit.
narration.
Oh, wait. All right.
I'll take the
got it.
narration.
Narration. Okay, so whenever you guys are ready, Wolfman from
All
1941.
right, hang on. Let me drink this silver bullet.
For
Fair.
protection.
That's fair.
Dun, dun.
You killed the wolf.
Well, there's no crime in that, is there?
The wolf was Bela.
You think I don't know the difference between a wolf and a man?
Bela turned into a wolf, and you killed him. A werewolf can only be killed by a silver bullet or a silver knife. Looks down at Larry's walking stick. Or a stick with a silver handle.
You a crazy cracker. I tell you, I killed a wolf. A plain, ordinary wolf.
If Black Dynamite's sequel was The Wolfman, that's what it would sound like.
You crazy cracker.
Crazy cracker.
Crazy cracker.
Come on now. Don't got to be shit.
God damn it. All right, so that-
Really
Way
awesome.
down in the jungle
Hang
deep.
on. Hang on. Since you want to
sorry.
talk about the Wolfman, really awesome anecdote to this that I discovered watching some of the documentaries prepping for this. That the wolf, or the dog that attacked Lon Chaney Jr. in the movie, he apparently ended up adopting as his own puppy.
Aw,
nice. That's awesome.
I was like,
that's so cute.
my feels.
Yeah,
But-
you know that's so cute, but then you think that dog ended up with a raging alcoholic.
Or do
My
you,
dogs are fine.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because in the movie it clearly is a dog attacking the friend of the love interest of Lawrence Talbot in The Wolfman, where Lawrence Talbot turns into a full-grown man in a wolf suit. How the fuck does that work?
That documentary actually brought up that there was no connection. At some point, they're like, why did Bela turn into a wolf, but, Talbot turned into a wolf man?
Exactly.
I think what it comes down to is a lot of people don't know this about the Wolfman. The last person before Talbot gets bit, before the Wolfman, it was a midget. So when he turned into Wolfman, he just looked like a dog.
Bela wasn't a midget though. Not in the movie.
No, like the person that you didn't know of that was like.
No, Bela
Bela-
was the wolf, and you
Bela
met
was the
him. He was a
wolf.
fortune teller.
The fortune teller was
he's
the wolf.
part of the story in the
He's
movie.
just trying to give respect to the short people.
No,
all right?
I'm just saying. Bela Lugosi
I was
played
also
Bela.
making a joke.
Oh.
Yeah, you
It was that bad that I didn't
why
get
when
it.
you do that,
That's
that
why-
goes
that's why I
over
didn't come
or
across as
past
that
our
bad.
heads.
We're over here ready to argue.
Yeah, you're like,
I know.
you made a bad joke.
Talking about.
I was like,
you're gonna have to send a text beforehand.
did Todd
or-
Browning direct The Wolfman as well? Is that how that worked out? Is it like a spiritual sequel to Freaks? Is that
Oh God!
Actually, earlier today, I was watching a documentary about the Universal movies with my roommate, and he goes, "Hey, look, Todd Browning. He's so poor he couldn't afford the extra O." And so every time you've said Todd Browning today, I've been thinking about Tood Browning. Because apparently D-Ray doesn't know the difference between an O
and
and a D.
But does D-Ray know the D?
He's a trucker too.
That's
Yeah,
Probably knows a lot lizard. more than
old
anything else.
yeah lot lizard D-Ray? You know how he
Yeah,
does.
that's true. That's true.
Oh no, they're scary.
All right, so going into the second half,
Making that clear.
And
going into the
moving
second half,
on.
I did
Moving
want
on.
to talk about a little bit how much the shared universe of the original Universal Monsters affected movies after. It's really the first shared universe with, I think it was House of Frankenstein was the first time that you saw most of the Universal Monsters kind of coming into the same movie.
Minus
There
the-
was Frankenstein versus Wolfman before that, I think.
Yes,
But
it
that was
before
just
that.
the two of them, and then House of Frankenstein was basically the Avengers of Universal Monsters,
where everything got put together. But one thing I did notice, because again, like trying to rewatch some of this stuff, trying to expose, again, one thing I always have is know your history. You got to know the history of these movies to appreciate the movies now, that type of thing, which is why I'm glad my son is watching. But one thing I did catch on Creature from the Black Lagoon, at the end in the cave, there is the single bat that does fly. Is that the connection to Dracula originally?
That could be like a
Now,
reduct like kind
it
of
is
thing where they're like,
reaching a
no, we
bit.
totally meant that to be the thing.
But
you know?
but I've never read anything. But that's my personal thing. Is like, do they really want to give that connection to the original universe?
Sometimes a bat's just a bat.
Sometimes a Hobbit is just a Hobbit.
let the
Shut
Batman
up.
Yeah.
Was it a rubber bat on a string? Because it probably was a connection.
Yeah.
I think it could just be whatever you want it to be.
I was just
True.
gonna say it could just be they were using one of the same sets from a Dracula movie, and someone
True.
bumped a prop.
but again, that's the nerd in me sitting there going, well, it could be connected. It's the
Right.
it's the
It's the
it's
fan
the, it's the
theory.
early
Yeah.
egg, like Easter egg
Right.
of like something could be there.
Now, if we were talking about shared universe, there was a weird similarity rewatching a few of the movies this week that I did notice. There's a character in the Avengers universe, and there's a character in the Universal Monster universes that shows up for about 5 minutes on screen, has barely any dialogue, and everyone immediately falls in love with. I posit that the Bride of Frankenstein is the inspiration for the new Spider-Man.
Okay. All right. Let's
Please explain this.
Let's go down
Let's-
this.
Let's go.
Let's take this journey.
This is a rabbit hole that I don't know if I want to go down.
You know, I see a hole in the ground. I'm gonna burrow in. I'm gonna take my time to
All
figure out what's down there.
Think
Let's
about
figure
the
it out.
Bride of Frankenstein is actually one of the most loved characters from the most at the time of the Universal Monsters universe. They love her. She grunts a couple times. She's not even on screen 5 minutes. So tell me how you felt in Captain America: Civil War when Spider-Man showed up.
And all he did was grunt.
Well, and I do know for a fact that lady spider ladies from watching the softcore porn Spider Babe with Misty Monday,
Yes.
that spider ladies shoot webbing out of their vaginas. So there is a possibility that Bride of Frankenstein shoots webbing out of her vagina.
See, we never know because
They
blew
off
her up
screen.
right off the bat.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean it's.
Well, it wasn't, back then, so they weren't going to show a whole lot, to be
I've never
fair.
been so hard.
So
You mean Bride of Frankenstein and spider webs?
But-
fuck yes.
two things. If you have not seen Spider Babe, go watch it. It's fantastic.
Not
Their
for-
cuts from the jump to the land and then the crotch to the web is absolutely
Also,
beautiful and no
not,
budget.
Not for jerk material. Like
No,
it's-
absolutely not.
It's super.
It's-
I mean, you do see boobs.
Yes.
and you do see like sort of blowjobs. It's softcore, so it's not like
It
real
was
blowjobs.
Skinamax.
Yeah.
You didn't see shit.
But it's fucking hilarious. It's so funny.
But the only counter, if I could think of one to that, because just trying to reconcile that shit in my brain is hurting me, is that you had Spider-Man, who is over a decades established character, versus the Bride of Frankenstein, who was just more of just, hey, we just created.
Even more decades established.
When the original came out,
Bride of
Written
Frankenstein.
about
part of the novel.
18.
Yeah.
when as established, you're saying as far as in culture, as far as showing Spider-Man versus the Bride of Frankenstein in a cinematic universe.
What the fuck are you talking about, Eagles fan?
Are you saying? I was just stating that the Spider-Man, being established as he is, showing up for 15 minutes in one film or 5 minutes in one film, versus her showing up in a Universal film, would have been as established. As you could make that connection.
It never would have been created completely anyway.
I think
No,
I understand
that might
what
be true.
I think I understand what Kyle's saying is that there was already precedent for Spider-Man before his appearance in the Marvel Universe version of the movie.
necessity of him to be.
Whereas the
in there.
Bride was definitely appearing in the books, but never had really a theatrical.
She had one. That was it.
One,
That's all
yeah.
the world knew of her was that one movie.
Yep.
Right.
And
I
in
get what
all
you're saying.
actuality, in the books, or in the book, she was created but never brought to life because Dr. Frankenstein and the monster had a massive falling out over the whole situation.
They were
And
bros,
he-
and then they weren't bros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he destroyed his his second creation. And that's what led to the end of the book where they chased each other into the Arctic where they both eventually just died.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true.
Oh, I do believe there is a point on here about differences between movies and books.
Yeah, we touched on that kind of here and there throughout. That is one of
Yeah.
those.
But we haven't touched on my absolute favorite.
Your fiance?
Absolute. Well, that's my absolute.
I
favorite
don't think
person.
we're allowed to touch on her.
My
I thought that was part of the
absolute
rules.
Favorite difference between a book and every movie version ever made from it is the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Wasn't he a fucking psychopath in the book?
The point is at the end,
Well,
Esmeralda is killed, and he runs off with the corpse, and they find him their remains years later, where he's snuggling her in a cave.
Aww.
And we never got to see that in film, especially the Disney one. Which
Yeah, what the
really
fuck,
would have been
Disney? Tighten up, man.
spectacular.
God damn it.
I want some legit storytelling here. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
it's- come on.
Necrophilia?
Also, the big differences between both Frankenstein and Dracula with the movies and the books is that everything that we know of Dracula from the movies, the cape, the charismatic, all that stuff is not in the books.
No.
That is 100% developed with Bela Lugosi and the original Dracula. That was a creation of
The
film.
book was much more. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was much more Nosferatu.
He was
Yes.
very
Right.
much
Much more so, but
old
also-
and fucked. And then as he drank blood, he got younger and younger. So you saw it a little bit more in
Gary
with Gary Oldman,
The Bram Stoker.
Francis Ford Coppola.
or Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah.
Well, based on the Bram Stoker.
The movie
Bram
that was called.
Stoker.
We just that's the book we're referencing from the beginning, so
Right,
that
right,
goes
right,
without
right.
saying. But,
But-
you were talking about the Francis Ford
Yeah,
Coppola
but you
movie.
look at
okay,
Bella,
yeah.
Bela Lugosi from the first part. He's not exactly a good-looking dude, but he's not like, oh fuck, like he's just like a weird old
doesn't
man in
change.
a castle.
He doesn't
Yeah.
change.
Actually, mine's quick. What caught me off guard was I had never paid attention to when Dracula was written. And because, if you try to read it, it's a fairly hard read because
It's also a journal
The
entry.
language has changed since.
no, the problem was that, hang on, I made a note of this earlier, that it was 1897 was when it was published.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Frankenstein was that much older? Hang on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It
Right.
caught me off guard to actually
Now-
discover that.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Bram Stoker's Dracula was actually the third or fourth rewrite of Vampire. which was-
Vampire.
Vampire.
Vampire. That's it.
Vampire.
Which was
Vampire.
one of the other novels in Mary Shelley's Bet.
Yep.
It was actually a multiple rewrite, and yes, in the book it is much more like Nosferatu. But yeah, it's actually that it's kind of like Michael baying up some shit.
Yeah.
There were multiple rewrites, and Bram Stoker is the one that
more
finally
explosions.
took what they had and made money.
It's like Vampire with explosions.
It just,
Which that's actually really cool. I didn't know that was Mary Shelley. That's pretty awesome.
No, it wasn't Mary Shelley. It was Lord Byron. He was one of the three people in that bet where Frankenstein came from. Wrote Vampire. And it was rewritten over the years multiple times, and that's what Bram Stoker used to write
and
Dracula.
That leads to like for instance, I can name some modern day renditions of that style of said vampire, not the Bela Lugosi Bram Stoker Dracula,
Right.
but the vampire one. Like you look at Stephen King's Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
That was a Nosferatu style, like balding vampire.
Well, and I'll even bring up a new one that I've been like kind of checked out, but really been checking out recently. It just so happens to go hand in hand. Is that the Penny Dreadful series
I was
from
gonna
like
bring that up,
Showtime? Yeah,
That Frankenstein monster is on point.
that Frankenstein monster is on point. The vampire is on there. Where you realize that it's the original story of
About the first season.
Yeah, the first season of Mina, her
The
lawyer.
ship.
Yeah, the sheep and how the vampires actually are. They're creatures that are hiding, and they're not the cape, the well dressed,
They're
whatever.
ugly, hideous thing.
Exactly.
I gotta point out the famous Mary Shelley weekend of them it's raining and they decided to write stories. Anybody that's listening that feels like they got put in the friend zone, which by the way doesn't exist. If you like a girl and she doesn't like you back, you're not in the friend zone. She just doesn't want to fuck you, and you get over it and you just move forward with your life.
Truth.
That being said, take that energy that you were going to put into awkwardly fucking your friend and create a story, because it seemed to work out really well for everyone involved on that fucking
I don't
house
know.
that they all share.
Having sex probably still feels better.
Yeah, but
Nah.
nobody's gonna be like,
Yeah,
hey,
no, but not
do you
awkward.
Do you remember back in the Victorian age
Pity
when
sex?
so and so
No.
fucked so and so? Nobody's gonna say that.
People do,
But they're going to be like,
that,
remember
though.
when somebody wrote a fucking amazing book that everybody has been talking about ever since
People,
they wrote it?
you know,
people do
everyone's
remember
been-
when certain people have sex with each other. Everyone remembers Monica Lewinsky's blowjob. Just saying.
Okay, so if it's a president or filmed like fucking Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee,
No,
that's about
Everyone
it.
remembers Roman Polanski. He liked to diddle.
Oh, so
That's why he's not coming back to America.
Everyone remembers Seal.
if you rape people or have sex with underage people, or you're a president or you film it, people will remember.
Yes.
Otherwise,
That's my point.
okay. So in the 1800s.
So where were we going with
Yeah,
this?
we have whole words based off people's sexual proclivity from like way back. Sodomy and masochism. That was people's names.
Marquis de Sade, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back
Yes.
to Universal Monsters.
Yeah, we were getting sexual. What do you got against sexuality, man? What's
No,
up?
nothing.
Uh-huh.
Well, we were talking about
I was just
Universal
gonna- I
Monsters.
was just going to help rein us back in.
Frankenstein's monster was a big fan of Marquis de Sade. I'm just saying, like,
I mean, the sexuality of things, yeah. I mean, you could roll back into the creature with that. You know, he was
Well, no,
obsessed with
they
that
did
girl.
amplify
She
the
looked like she
vampire.
was naked when she was swimming. That was
Truth.
scandalous.
They did amplify
That
the
was
vampire
that,
sexuality.
Actually,
that white
time,
bathing suit.
at that-
That white bathing suit.
That was designed specifically for her and was considered terribly scandalous at the time.
Truth.
Actually,
Truth.
So you want to roll it back in from sexuality and some whatever weird fetishes you guys are talking about.
But no, but that's the thing. It's not actually. It is a very easy round in because there was.
I just want a Dracula to pee on me. Like that
There's-
doesn't seem
I mean,
like
that's-
a big,
that's weird.
That doesn't seem like
What
a
about
big pee on
I
the
think
there
the
was-
list
you want
on
dead
the
girl
back
piss
of
on
this.
there was direct there's direct sexuality tie-ins with like Dracula in future representations of the vampire.
Well,
Like,
actually,
of
especially
course,
with
yeah.
Interview with the
Yeah.
Vampire has a huge sexual innuendo in it, as well as what was that movie called To Die For?
Yeah.
That was an early '90s one that was basically just about drinking blood and fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I beg to differ that it was just huge. It was just blatant sexual innuendo.
fair, very fair. Okay,
Yeah,
fair, blatant. Yes.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that even if you look at the older movies, like they didn't hide it. There was no hiding it. Like in a lot of them, maybe besides The Mummy, I can't think of anything in The Mummy that would directly correlate to like any sort of sexual. But
It was actually said that around the era of Dracula, overt sexuality was not allowed in film, period.
right.
But Bella said that during his role, he thought the bite itself was a sexual experience,
Yes.
and he tried to
Yes.
portray that
Yes.
in
Yes.
the bite, making it kind of a sexual thing. It got past the censors because in itself wasn't considered sexual, but the way he portrayed it was sexual, and that's... God damn it, if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't have fucking Interview with a Vampire. That entire thing is based on Bella's portrayal.
And I'm going to say, in all of them, there was always a love interest. Whether it was the
Yes.
monster's love interest,
Yes.
the protagonist, the antagonist, somewhere somebody had a love interest in every single one of them. The Mummy, he comes back looking for the woman that reminds him of his lost
from
his bride.
thousands of years ago.
Creature
Yes.
was obsessed with this woman because he was like, oh my God, what is this thing I've never seen before? It's so sexy. I have to have it. The Wolfman, he falls in love with a woman and it's his only life.
That's
left
what
to live
holds him onto the human part of himself.
That's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you touched on that. That was one thing I was just touch on, especially the Wolfman, for being the more primal of it. To still have that scent of the woman, that you have that heart for it to bring you back to a more human level.
Right.
Also, if you look at vampires, almost even the early ones, every time you bit them on the neck, it was never, oh my God, I'm screaming in pain. It was, oh, it was always like a,
Yeah, it was
a very sexual thing.
A small step in. Notice every time the vampire bites a woman in any of the movies, she arches.
Like
She does.
orgasm. Yeah.
She arches her back. She strains like that. That was the.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring it back to the original. Like he was like
Squeezes her
Hobbit
legs.
mentioned as far as Bela Lugosi wanting to make that bite sexual. Was there anybody here, even at a young age? I think the first time I saw Dracula, I was 9 or 10.
Yeah, I was young as shit when I saw
But is
Dracula.
there anybody here who did not see that and not think it was something that was like enticing and sexual and
No,
hot and
yeah.
like dirty? I'm sorry. Anybody think not think? I
I'll raise
thought
my
that.
hand on
Yeah,
that one.
no matter how you take
I'm
it, no
just-
matter what age, there's that tinge of just like
Ooh.
with
Yeah.
it, you know, like
even
I'm
at a
gonna
young age-
like I may be biting your neck, but I'm about to give you something else inside of you.
What I'm
you
saying,
know,
even at a young
it's-
age, I took it as something like not just violent.
Right,
You know?
right.
Why is it standing on its own, Mom?
You got it right there. You got it right there. I'm gonna say it, you got it right there on the head. That-
Oh, I got it on the head.
I'll put something inside you, bitch.
I was
Yeah,
getting my
that's
fist
right.
on that one. There you go.
the idea of that a bite could be sexual is
Right.
is like instilling you from the vampire mythos.
Yes.
That you're just
Yes.
like, oh, hang on, let me give you a little nip, baby. You know, and
Drain you a little bit.
All right.
Where-
All right. What? Okay. Anyway, but see, that goes back to
What the fuck?
I don't know, but see, that goes back to like where I've always said it's just like with music and stuff. Know your history, because there are so many people that take like the vampirism, the werewolf, like as like very sexual. If you don't know the history of like the original Dracula, like the Frankenstein, just the matter of I'm lusting after this one person and that's my whole motivation for life, you don't know nothing. But for him to take that bite and like we'll say to take the bite and to give you something a little more to put inside of you, that unfortunately we ended up with Twilight, but hey, shit.
I'm gonna fang you so good, baby.
Yeah. Now that was a very bad representation of later vampire.
Well, that was my intention.
I
yes.
know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, but like, I think good representation was the Penny Dreadful stories being brought
Yes.
into life with Showtime, because
bringing it back to
we
that.
brought back.
Yes.
We've already discussed like Frankenstein and his relationship with his maker, and how the dialogue and all that free thought wasn't in the original movie, but in Penny Dreadful they really bring on the whole like
the Frankenstein monster in Penny Dreadful is
or the Bride of
beautiful.
Frankenstein moving on
Yeah.
to then love what's his face Gray.
Right.
There's so much, and like you said, the vampire. There's so much involved with this newer undertaking. It sucks it got canceled. 'Cause
Right.
I thought they really did a good job of portraying a modern day,
Yep.
romantic and violent aspect of these monsters.
Completely
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
Are you still waiting, mate?
go.
We're good.
You go.
Here's the appeal of these monsters, the way I see it. And yes, the sexual aspect.
The way I wait, no, let's do a little music like
Seriously,
according to Kevin. Okay, here we go.
Give me a
Yeah,
chance
go ahead.
here. Is the appeal of these horror monsters and what they're doing is and what the way they see these things, the attraction, the sexuality of a vampire's bite, the desire of the unique from the creature, the monster's desire just to have a companion, is they're taking our baser impulses. There's the whole like mammalian, reptilian brain idea where there's love, there's outside it, but these are when you see something, it's the first thing you want. And it's appealing because the insanity that ensues from following it is still appealing.
You're saying like Dracula's a rapist is basically what you're saying.
He absolutely
Well,
is.
kind
No,
of,
I
yeah.
don't disagree with you, but
He roofies you with his eyeballs, and then he penetrates
That's-
you and steals your bodily fluids.
fuck it. Like that's enticing as fuck. Dracula's a rapist is the name of the episode.
Yes, he's like the Pepe Le Pew of the Universal Monster World.
Yeah.
Bad about Macabre.
No, that's better actually. Pepe Le Pew of monsters. Yeah.
Look, in nature, the basis instinct for any species is to find a mate. And even with
Right.
the Wolfman or the creature or Dracula, no matter what evil you might think they are or primal you might think they are, the most basic instinct for them is to find a mate. Even for Dracula is to find several, because he's a whore.
Brides of Dracula.
Brides
Yeah,
of Dracula.
exactly.
But
No,
even-
he's just from Salt Lake City.
poly.
It's fine.
he's a polygamist. Okay.
That's the name of the episode. Dracula is a
Mormon.
polygamist.
Dracula is
Dracula is a
Mormon.
polygamist.
There's like so many. There's so many. There's so many.
All right.
Actually, Dracula is Mormon sounds pretty good.
Oh. No, because Mormons separated themselves in polygamy. No. Mormons
Yeah.
are polygamy. Dracula's a polygamist.
I'm not looking for like actual like.
This is too much. I can't do this.
What about Dracula Le Pew is normal?
Okay, all right.
I got the vapors.
Okay, we need to end this episode because it's getting so fucking off the rails at this point.
I was just gonna give a couple anecdotal quips to the couple of things. One, to the fact that what started part of this conversation was that you compared Dracula and the Wolfman as the people that are into kinky things of, whatever. And I'm like sitting there thinking, so vampires and furries? So
That's exactly what
bestiality, maybe.
No, furries is exactly what I.
So like you kind of went there with the furries thing.
Just a little bit. Just
No,
a
if
little bit.
Wolfman walked into a gay bar, you know that all the bear lovers, there'd be a cub being like, "Sup," it'd be like ready.
That and then you got so romanticized about the whole thing before they everyone else turned what you said into something super rapey that I was like,
Yeah.
I can definitely tell that he's about to get married this weekend. He's really excited about this romanticism of Dracula. So I'll give that one to you, and then the rest of you guys just made it creepy and weird.
Dracula.
I've been married, so I'm good.
I will say I did
Agree
not.
with that.
We need to tie it in a little bow before we continue on with anything else. We've got to move forward, dude.
No, that's. I was actually trying to do that.
Oh well, then you take my lead. You go. You just do.
Oh, I
Wasting
take
time
your
talking
lead.
about
You-
it. So, just
Anyway,
saying, moving forward.
what I was gonna, because we brought up things like Penny Dreadful and all that stuff. What are we looking at for how these original Universal monsters have influenced current cinema? And what are we looking at for this new dark universe?
I will say that from the new universe, I've seen Dracula Untold. I've seen the new Mummy.
So have I.
Okay.
I have not seen the new Mummy.
Okay.
But
so Dracula Untold sucks. It's
Dracula Untold. To be fair, that was what was supposed to be the second time. I Frankenstein.
See, I told you.
Was supposed to be the first
That's
iteration of the building of the universe.
There is no-
Are they
and it
officially
died.
part of it?
And then Dracula Untolded, and they were planning on building on that, and
Right.
it bombed. And then they went Mummy, and they announced previous to, because the fucking they had so much set on that they announced they were doing your Dark Universe to try to bolster sales,
And like
because
Invisible Man and all that stuff.
because all of the preview shots for the movie were abysmal. They tried to bolster it by announcing the Dark Universe, so they fucking showed their hand way before they were supposed to.
I Frankenstein. There's nothing confirmed on that. Although Dracula Untold, there is.
that's basically what I was going to say. I Frankenstein was basically the test waters for it. It failed, obviously.
Well, it sucked.
Then, duh. Then Dracula Untold. But that was where they were a little bit more forthright about it. But then, for some reason, they're banking on Tom Cruise for this Mummy thing.
So,
yeah, but the previous
So-
two, they were planning on that being part of the shared universe, and then they were just like, no, we totally never meant that to be the thing ever.
So the thing about the new Mummy is that it had the potential. It does, but it has the potential to be very good. They just didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't know if it wanted to be a horror movie. It didn't know if it wanted to just simply be a conduit to other to bridge other movies in that universe. The problem with that's the biggest problem. The best part of that is Russell Crowe. He's my favorite. He's actually good in the movie. He's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So that he is sort of the Giles, if you will. He's the bridge. He's the guy with all the knowledge. And that's where they mess up, is that they don't know what they want to be.
Well, from what I understand, he's not only just Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but he's the Van Helsing character in that role as well.
Can't be both.
No,
You can't.
There's
be.
supposed to be another.
He's not Van Helsing specifically, although he carries traits.
That
of Van
being
Helsing.
said, is that the original movies, the reason why they worked, they were not fucking action movies.
No shit.
The first Mummy movie was okay.
It was very
at best
baggy, draggy.
Yeah.
Drag.
The sequels were terrible. No, I'm talking about like
You're talking about Brendan Fraser?
the Brendan Fraser
Yes.
ones.
Hey, the first one's great.
The first one's okay. Like, as far as a remake of something that I love,
Right.
it was like, okay, you're doing a different thing, and I can kind of get what you're doing, and it's not terrible, but it's not great. And moving on, all the sequels are dog shit.
No,
Right,
I agree.
right.
I agree with that.
That's the only time that there's been an action version of this universe where it was not complete dog shit.
Right.
It was not great. It was like, nah, I saw it and I didn't. I was like, okay, there's a couple good parts and that's great, and I don't own it. And these aren't action movies. These are suspense horror movies.
Right.
They need to be treated as such. You can build that fucking universe if you know what the intention was on the original films and know why they got good in the first place, why people loved them in the first place. If you still carry that spirit and make like Seven style,
All right.
breathe.
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 I just
If you
wanna
do
say-
Frankenstein, like David Fincher directs Frankenstein, fuck, I'm on board.
That mean
Like,
Kevin
I'm-
Spacey's.
I just want to say
Sure.
that Brendan
yeah, I'll take
Fraser needs all the help he can get right now. So get a little respect for that.
That's true. We love Brendan Fraser, but yeah, he needs a little hand these days. You know, and just saying.
I have to mention that I am totally stoked. God damn it, I'm so terrible with names sometimes. The guy who directed Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah,
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo
Yeah.
del Toro.
Oh,
That movie that's coming out that's totally looks like
It's
he ripped
straight
off
up. It's
the
straight up
from the
creature.
Black
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shape of Water.
Shape of
I-
Water.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I am so stoked to see that. I really hope that this turns out good.
It also looks like a prequel to the Abe Sapien like
Oh,
stuff in
totally.
Hellboy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Whatever,
But-
but please don't suck.
But well, that's the whole thing. Is that like someone like Del Toro? There are movies where you may not like always be like, it was a good movie, but not be into it. But you have people like him and other people that could take something like The Shape of Water, and that could be the next Universal monster. Do it his way. Don't do this action Michael Bay bullshit.
Right. Modern and put new twists.
Actually,
on it.
that's the way
Yeah.
we're going to tie up this episode. Is that we look at the Universal monsters, the big ones, and we talk about the directors we think should do it the right way. We'll lead off with Guillermo with Shape of Water. That could be a way better introduction of Gillman from Creature from the Black Lagoon. Steve. I'm sorry, Steve.
It's Steve
Gilman.
Bob. It's Steve Bob. Thank you.
Steve Gilman.
Steve Bob Gilman.
I'll tie it in real quick. That I would agree because what he's doing is keeping that original love interest. Maybe he's pushing that issue a little
Good
bit
call.
more, but from the trailer, it seems like that's what he's pushing. He's pushing that sexuality, he's pushing that love, and he's pushing that humanity, even if it is still horror.
Right. In the most primal of aspects.
Now, I agree that, like, if you want to push that into being, like, the creature in this movie, that's fine for a good start, but I really think they fucked up with not trying to lead into this whole resurgence in the Dark Universe with utilizing the Wolfman remake.
Yes.
It was not fucking horrible. It was a good remake.
It was.
Right.
It was
I
a
mean,
good
it had Del
remake.
Toro,
Okay.
and it had Benicio.
Was that Rodriguez?
Huh?
Was that Rodriguez?
Director?
that-
No.
No.
No,
No,
he produced.
no,
He
no,
produced
no.
that thing.
But it's you had Anthony Hopkins and you have Benicio del Toro. All right. Now they both did a really good job. They changed who the original wolf was.
Of course,
obviously.
of
No,
course.
I'm not spoiling who it was, but they changed who the original bite was from. But I'm just saying, like they stuck to
Go ahead.
stuck to true to form story arc. Like he went home. It was in his hometown. You know, it wasn't. They didn't really change much about it, but they did develop the story. They fleshed it out a lot more, and I think they did a great job with it. And I think it was a wasted opportunity.
Absolutely. No, agreed.
A lot of that comes from modern storytelling and how it's progressed. But really, the biggest difference in that movie, besides that, is the violence.
Oh yeah, it's great.
That was the biggest difference. Is it gave you a grittier version of what would happen if a man wolf
That
ripped apart a human being.
That fucking court scene.
Dude.
Holy
which
shit.
made it more
right?
visceral. If it made it more visceral, it made it more memorable.
So, what I wanted to talk about is back in the 80s, there was going to be a remake of Creature. It was
Really?
a remake of Creature.
Oh wait.
Yeah. Because there happened to be this director that made excellent horror films throughout the 80s, and Universal said, pick anything you want to
Right.
reboot. And John Carpenter said, I want to do Creature from the Black Lagoon.
But nothing ever happened.
Well, it's because he made one bad movie. I can't remember which one it was that bombed at the box office. And
Ghost
it has
of Mars?
been-
That was 2000. That was
No,
Yeah,
no.
well, that's
It
the
was
first
much
one that comes
earlier
to
than that.
mind.
It was around like 91, 92, and the movie's been in development hell ever since.
Of course.
But I would love to see John Carpenter's Creature.
Okay,
Dude,
so
well, first off, that would be boss as shit right there to see that. So let's again. You were talking about wrapping up. We know Lowdown. Why don't you emphasize it again? Who's the best creature of all?
for me. Wolfman.
Let's go around.
Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Wolfman. Hands down.
Wolfman.
Kevin.
Frankenstein. This is monster.
Kyle.
I said Wolfman.
He said Wolfman.
Okay,
Will.
Oof, I've got a toss up, but I'm gonna say
Cunt.
no.
That's the best creature.
What a fucking cunt!
Cunt is the best monster. Yes.
Yes. Go, Will.
I'm gonna have to say, as much as I love Frankenstein, as far as a monster goes, Creature from the Black Lagoon gets my heart too.
Okay.
I've got a tie between Frankenstein's monster and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Frankenstein's monster has the
You better
has the
choose one,
kick-ass story.
motherfucker.
Frankenstein's monster has the kick-ass story, but the Creature from the Black Lagoon has the most like legit like real to it. The legitimate. So I'm at a tie. Hobbit.
No tie. Fucking Frankenstein's monster all fucking day.
I thought it was Jay Baruchel.
Jay Baruchel as Frankenstein's monster.
Actually,
He has the forehead and the hair for it.
that being said, I have not mentioned him once this fucking episode.
You haven't.
That's
And
true.
that wasn't
That's
intentional. Like I just
I'm
haven't
sure your
felt
dick's
like
very hard under that table right
Very
now.
good.
That somebody did mention his
Little
name.
steps, Hobbit.
he could possibly
good.
he could be like Dracula's minions in a remake. The what's his fuck?
Renfield.
Renfield. Yeah, he could be
Renfield.
Renfield. Like that would be his role. Frankenstein's monster all day because that connected with me so much when I was in my formative years as like going into teenagerdom of being like, I'm not a bad person, but people like I have hormones and shit and all this stuff happening and like people don't understand me.
So-
and I feel enraged by it. Like that's totally like a puberty movie.
The only way you could
That
talk
should
to
be-
girls was going beer good.
No, that was like me like you like me.
What about Wolfman with like all the primal of just raging?
No, we're talking about him though.
No,
right now.
but Frankenstein was
me,
feeling like completely disconnected.
Oh, you
from,
animal!
That was
you.
me too, by the way. The primal rage.
I was just primal rage, so
Yeah.
that's why like I think the Wolfman.
See, I was like
This is
me
why we get along.
like lady, you like
know-
Frankenstein, and they were like, no, I don't.
No,
Frankenstein monster.
you probably messed up and said, "Oh, you like dick?" And you're like,
no.
"No."
I could associate
wrong
with
with
the
you?
monster of
I've been hanging out with him
Frankenstein's
too long.
monster very much more. But I have to say my favorite was the
I did want
right.
to give
All
an
right.
honorable mention.
Sure.
All right, last thing.
Okay,
wanted
well,
to give-
I was gonna try to do the like if we were to actually do Dark of Universe on our own, we would figure out.
Do we have
this
time
stuff.
for that?
You know, no. I tried to introduce that earlier, and then we just went off on other shit. So that's fine. Continue.
likes-
No, I wanted an honorable mention on the favorite monsters. It's not a monster. The Renfields, the bug-eating people driven insane by everyone else in the movies. I've always loved those characters.
Yes. Even in
Fair enough.
Even in Dracula Dead and Loving It, still one of the best characters in that movie. But
All right. So what I will say to our listeners is that we didn't get a chance to really talk about who we would want to direct the Dark Universe moving forward because they fucked up with the Mummy. No, we don't have time.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah,
We don't have time.
let's do it. What discussion?
So, in the comments, comment on our social media, comment on iTunes and all of that about who you would love to see direct some of this Dark Universe stuff. Who you think might be the right director to do proper justice to the Mummy, to do proper justice to the creature, to do proper justice to Frankenstein. And join the conversation. Let us know what you think about this episode and all others by following us at GUIPodcast.com. All our links to social media are there. And join us every week for another episode of Geeks Under the Influence. Subscribe, rate us, comment. It actually brings us up in the rankings in iTunes if you rate us. So do that. And thank you so much for the use of Little Girl by Gojira Experiment on the intro, and for the use of Dead by Dawn on the outro by the Creepazoids. And as always, I'm Mike the Hobbit Bickett. Join us or die.
Everybody but the Hobbit, shut the fuck up.
Necronomicon gives us power to rise from the dead. You play to take, our claim begins to spread. You can fight all you want, cause you felt to resist.
SKGUIpodcast.com.